Rivalry at paparating na sa ating second matchup of the night. Uwami pa rin with Burrito and Midnight para sa Tagalog desk at para naman sa ating English panel. Kamusta naman tayo dyan?
Over on the English, it's the We Bear Bros. It's me, Naisu. Leo Redmar will be joining you guys in just a bit.
At kakaiba yung mga nangyari kanina, a 5-game series between Onyx Philippines and Aurora kung saan Onyx ang nagkamit ng victory kaya naman kakalabanin nila sunod ang Team Falcons.
Mabigat-bigat yung nag-aabang. Dito naman sa dalawang teams na makikita natin kung sino magwawagi dito, nakaabang ang Team Liquid sa kanila.
Alam mo yan, mahirap. Kaya ako kanina sa sinabi ni Wolf, ako din naging fan ako nitong dalawang team na to. Yung banan ng puso at utak. But even after that, ang laki ng challenge man ahead of this road. It's TLPH in the next round.
Yeah, they're going to have to face off against what a lot of people would call the final boss so far for the season, but I think either can...
Okay, leading the charge for Barangay Omega.
At yun yung nakakalungkot no, may isang storya na talagang matatapos ngayong gabi para sa parehas na kupunan na to. And for Tracy, na late na rin pumasok sa ating regular season na biglang hinila pataas ang Twisted Minds at kay Kapitan Mingwin na talagang nakita nating nag-set na sa kanyang role. Dito natin makikita kung kaninong storya nga ba yung magpapatuloy dahil katulad nung nakita po natin kanina sa pinakauna nating serye, regardless kung gaano natin kamahal, gaano natin kagusto, isa lamang ang magpapatuloy sa dalawang teams na mapapanood natin ngayong gabi.
Yun nga yun yung mga sorpresa na nakita natin no, nung mga huling moments na ng Twisted Minds. Pero nung nagkaharap itong dalawa na to, nung week number 2 and week number 6, si Kaloy pa nung mga moment na yan ay naglalaro pa.
Yeah, ito yung yung twist na kailangan papatunayan ng Twisted Minds. Is the change enough to overcome at the barangay? Kasi nakita rin naman natin with the stability of this roster, especially after yung turning point ng week 4 performance nila against Aurora Gaming, Omega just found their stride. It feels like the reinvigorated barangay was reinvigorated even further.
And at the lead is of course Dean Sumagi aka Ryzen na ang specialty simula pa lamang nung kanyang debut no season 8 ay ang pamba-backdoor. Just ending it from out of nowhere. That was what people would quote-unquote call his prime. Nung rookie siya na pinapalit-palitan niya si The King, KLVJ.
Yeah, during that time, he came off as a big surprise to everyone in that BLPH. You were able to get a competitive run during those playoffs as well. It's a big full circle moment. We haven't seen Omega in the playoffs for a while, and it's the kid who made his debut with Omega all those seasons ago that helped bring them to this point.
Yes.
It's the Ryzendable moments, of course, his split pushes with the Fanny that has secured or obtained a lot of eyes on them, but they are more than just the split pushes. It's their team fighting, their tenacity, and the fact that they can pull off some of the craziest stuff that we've seen. Just when we don't expect them to do something, they're gonna do that. I didn't expect Neski to color his hair green.
Yeah. And in 1 week, ang daming nangyari sa lahat ng mga teams natin. Parang lahat ay nag-ready, lahat ay nag-improve. And the same could be said for Ryzen. 9 seasons after his quote-unquote prime, parang hindi pa doon natatapos ang kanyang growth. Parang nagsisimula pa lang. Ang kanyang katapat ay si MP The King na nakita na nating nag-excel mula sa kanyang NXPE days all the way to his international, now back in the Philippines, leading Twisted Minds. And speaking of NXPE, pa tayo lalayo?
Ay, nako. Mata ng Des ay nakatingin sa akin. Yes, it's also been 9 seasons since that happened. And si MP The King ay isa rin sa mga hot rookies at that time. Kumbaga hot commodity si MP The King. And over time, we've seen the career growth para kay MP The King, even going outside of the Philippines, being very successful there. In fact, ang naalala ko talaga, pinaka-naalala ko sa storya ni MP The King, naging team captain siya, naging playing coach pa siya nung MSC.
Wow.
That dropped Onyx ID out of MSC contention, by the way.
Basta ako, love na love ko si MP kasi Bane specialist siya.
Yan yung mga hindi lamang yung mga quirk kumbaga ng ating mga junglers dito sa MPL Philippines. It's so fun to see yung mga rising stars natin sa loob ng ating liga. Kanina nakita natin yung mga sementado na ang kanilang mga titulo sa loob ng ating mga legacy careers. But this time, uprising stories ang ating tinitignan. Equally heartbreaking. Maputol ngayong gabi.
Ay, bakit naman ganito ang Philippines? Welcome sa playoffs kung saan dito mo masasabi talaga na yung best of the best talaga yung nailalabas natin. Kasi ang dami mga magandang storyline pero ganun ka-brutal yung pinaka-competitive na region in all the world. Wala ikaw ba naman tahanan ka ng mga kampyon? Ganun talaga. It is what it is.
Gentlemen, kung sino mang manalo dito ay ang matitirang posibleng pwede natin tawaging David sa David versus Goliath matches na pwedeng sulat dito sa ating playoffs in Season 17.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad because David went up against one Goliath.
This guy's
Three.
They gotta go against
There's 3 Goliaths. But the math is not mathing up.
Oh man, ang naghihintay kung sino mang mananalo dito sa Omega versus Twisted Minds ay lahat naging world champion na. And that's the 3 Goliaths na nag-aabang kung sino mang mananalo sa Twisted Minds and Omega. At ang pinakauna, of course, is yung final boss na nag-aabang. Siyempre, bago tayo dumako sa napakainit nating play-ins number 2, pumunta muna tayo sa ating on-ground panel.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters. They've talked about the storylines, what we're hoping to see mula sa ating dalawang kupunan. Pero sa ngayon, we have to give an in-depth explanation as to how these two teams will be able to win. And with that, here is the real-time cooling tactics brought to you by Infinix. And with that being said, Wolf, it's your time to shine.
Importante dito yung mga last on picks natin. The dalawang teams natin ay mahilig sa mga ganitong klaseng mga pickups. But I think for both teams, the headlines na kailangan nilang abangan sa mga cooling tactics na kailangan nila ngayon is kontrahin yung gustong gawin ng kanilang kalaban. For example, it's all about gonna be the positive trades that eventually will favor Twisted Minds at kailangan nilang pigilan na hindi magawa ngayon ng Omega. You also have to look at yung Tracy angles na nakikita natin yung the Tracy sandwich at yung kanilang mga pwestuhan. And overall, hindi sila pwedeng maging eng-eng pagkalapat nila itong Sinetsky.
I appreciate that. The eng-eng and then of course yung Tracy sandwich. There seems to be 2 trademarks na meron itong dalawang teams na ito. But I guess we can talk about yung mga lason na picks. How often do we see these two teams actually picking up something that is out of the ordinary?
You know, the reason why I included that, Hans, it's a very good question. Lalong-lalo na pinakaunang linya pa yan dito sa kailangan nilang tignan, Hans, is because this is a best of 5 series. Notoriously, itong si Bonchan at eventually itong Omega ay marunong talagang mag-exploit ng last two picks. Sa best of 3 pa lang, naglalabas din sila ng mga ganon. What if magkaroon pa ng best of 5? Do expect the games to be long. Do expect this series to be long because of the propensity of those last two picks.
Well, just like what happened kani-kanina lamang between Aurora Gaming Philippines and Onyx Philippines. I think on the mental aspect, because we saw a bit of a graphic kanina kung saan Smart Omega wasn't able to make it past the play-ins since Season 9. Twisted Minds since Season 15. It's been a while between these two organizations to be able to push it that far. What's going on through their heads na ngayon, isa sa kanila may chance na to get there?
Yun yung talagang crazy part kasi parang natatapos sa utak nila, ang tagal nating hinintay to, tapos tayo pa yung maglalaglagan, tayo pa yung magsisira ng dreams. At the same time, hindi
ka manlalaro na minsan lang magkaroon ng opportunity and now they are here towards the playoffs. One of them could possibly be Perks and Mingwin. Those two guys that are part of the mid lane trio would be very essential for Smart Omega.
napaka exciting but also a difficult situation. Kailangan talaga patibayan na ng mental to. At syempre kung gaano pa sila ka-prepared. At parang laban na rin ng mga fan bases to, Hans. Naririnig mo naman yung mga tambol.
Well, might as well. Nandito na rin naman ang tambol. Ang tanong ay kung buhay ba ang barangay? Andito ang barangay sa San Juan, pero ang utak ng lahat ng yan ay ang minds ng Twisted Minds! With that being said, handa ka na ba? At handa na rin ako. Siguradong handa na rin kayo. This is Smart Omega against Twisted Minds. Teams, take it away.
Sulong sa playoffs, tapat silang haharap. Walang twist ang babuluktot sa tuwid na daan, papunta sa pangarap! Locked and engaged, manifesting like no other, mag-ingay for the self-proclaimed best gold laner, two-time gold laner of the week, Nets! Bigyang pugay at ang Smart Omega! No pressure, no doubts, just a twisted plan in mind. They're here to tear the bracket down and leave the rest behind. And the mastermind behind their twisted plays, their anchor, their shot caller, MDL Season 5 champion, Lansu! And your Twisted Minds! To ensure the integrity of the game, please welcome our marshals, Luis, Miko, Joshua G, and Dojin. And our head referee, the Chop Master, Sen. And our head coaches, Coach Wura and Coach Bonchan. Two dark horses collide to settle the score, and only one will survive. Smart Omega, Twisted Minds, balag na to!
The battle of the heart and the mind is going to break out here in the final matchup for today.
Midway through Season 17, we were wondering, who is the star in Smart Omega? Who do they play around? Who do they build around? Objectively speaking, we didn't find the answer, but Netsky is the closest thing to it. And I love how he leads the charge as they enter the San Juan Arena.
I love how the Barangay Tanos look like knights with their swords up in the air with their Arnis sticks. That's what they're called, right?
Yep.
But there was also a question for Twisted Minds. Late in the season, or the week 6, who the hell is Tracy?
Yeah.
And this is Tracy, the plot twist for Twisted Minds. His roaming style took a lot of teams by surprise and allowed Twisted Minds to secure their playoff slot. Though granted, it was a loss of another team that secured it. Definitely Tracy had a big part of that. But Lansu really needs to be the main guy here for Twisted Minds. His shot calling needs to be on point.
You know, one of the interesting things that we saw during the graphics leading into this matchup was, I didn't realize, like, for Ryzen specifically, his stats that we saw put him in 8th in the jungle.
Abysmal.
But it doesn't matter.
On paper, he is the worst jungler in Season 17.
But it doesn't matter
It
because
doesn't!
he's matchup.
Ito nga pala guys, dito boss. Ito ang nagsimula sa amin ni Prince guys. si Boss A. Ito yung best gold laner para sa akin.
Ang nararamdaman ko ngayon, excited ako ngayon and gusto ko malaro ko yung laro ko. Inaanda ko itong araw na to eh. Ito yung pinakamahalaga sa buong ML players, guys. Kailangan nyo mag-perform sa playoffs para makuha nyo yung mga gusto nyo. Sa mga nagpa-rate sa labas, grabe, ang laki ng binigay nyo sa amin boosting, guys. Talagang lulipitan namin. Hindi namin nahayaan, hindi kayo makakasigaw. Ang pinakamahalaga, dapat talaga kumapit ka muna kay God bago ka maglaro. And minamanifest ko rin pala yung mga Tama na, minamanifest natin yung mga kalaban natin na maging engeng. Tapos tayo yung pinakamalakas. Let's go, playoffs! Day 4, hashtag Day 4.
Sana manalo na ngayon. Sana hindi na tayo mag-first round exit ha. Medyo masakit yun ha pag first round exit. Sana manalo kami. Ito na ata. Galingan lang natin kabarangay ha. Good luck ha. Oo, gagalingan namin. And sabi ni Tracy, mambubugbog daw siya ngayong laban na to. Andito na ako! Andito na si Lansu! Message ko sa mga kamays dyan ha. Salamat sa mga sumusuporta sa amin ha.
It's perfect, Renmar, how you mentioned, the guys that got to step up right now happens to be Lansu. Well, you hear some words there in the Smart 5G ping test. I think he's ready to be that guy.
Yeah, he's the most animated I've seen him all season now, but even he said, again, why this is such a heart-wrenching series to watch. It's been a while since we've seen Omega in the playoffs, while Twisted Minds, are we really going to see them drop down again in the first round? Are they not going to get through the plays again? Which is why it's like, it's tough. They've won both of our hearts. Even the community, as I was reading the discussions heading into this, more people realize just how heartbreaking this series is.
I hate to see it, but it's David versus David here. Speaking of David, that Smart 5G ping test was starring a man named David Gamboa, also known as Boss A, a very close friend of Netsky, as they came up together under Monster Anarchy and then eventually the lineup that debuted for Onyx Philippines in Season 10.
Gosh, that seems like a long time ago.
Them's is lore.
That is the lore. And what is Boss A currently doing now? He's still involved.
He's a multifaceted philanthropist.
Making stacks of money.
Making stacks of money, man. I wish we could all be making stacks of money.
Same. Wow, I just got sad.
Hey, but we get to watch these young athletes compete for the stacks of money and the prestige.
Yes, there are stacks of money on the line.
There are stacks of money.
And then at the end of the road,
there's more stacks of
for the
money.
last two standing, tickets to Paris.
So more stacks.
That's something that I don't think we've touched on a lot in the panel throughout the day. It's the Paris buff.
The Paris buff.
Want to head to Paris, dog?
Dude, who doesn't want to go compete for a $3 million prize pool?
Yeah, exactly. It's like every time someone qualifies for either MWI or MSE. The post is always something Paris.
Yeah.
Whether it's in Filipino or whatever language or whatever country they come from, it's always something about, I'm going to Paris.
Yep. And we are going to be jumping into the draft here for game number 1. Again, in this best of 5 between Smart Omega and Twisted Minds. This is, there's something about it that tells me we might go 5 games again for our second series of the day as we head on in to Expanding Rivers.
Joseph, that is what I predicted.
That's what you predicted? Did you both do a prediction?
This is going all the way 3-2, but...
Did you say that for the first?
No. I thought the first would go 3-1.
Oh, okay. Wait, Redmar, you usually hide your predictions. Did you put it out there?
Yeah,
he put it out on that AG podcast.
Oh,
What did you say? On the AG podcast and our little video with Miracle 2, it was 3-1, 3-1 for both today.
Who'd you choose today?
Omega.
Omega?
Omega and Onyx.
So you're right so far.
Yeah, right so far.
At least as per winner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about this one? You said Omega?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Omega grabs the Harley.
Which is, again, I think, despite Ryzen's abysmal stats, his best hero.
He's best hero right now, currently. They're going to do the trade. This is what we're going to see a lot of, right? Harley traded out for the Claude, then another choice, but it's going to be the Suyo to answer the Harley over here for Twisted. And what do they pick up here? What do they prioritize for Omega?
Ooh, I think they get something disruptive but defensive. Okay, they go for disruptive.
That's kind of.
Oh, but this could still go into the EXP lane. There's a lot of flex actually for Omega. You can
Go with games.
You can either flex that Valentina, flex that Hilda, depending on what EXP laner that you see. They don't have to really put it into a very singular box of where it could end up.
We've seen him do both.
Yeah, so I think I would want to see Twisted go into this with the same idea, but with a Hildegon, there's no other... Oh, no, Glue is a flex. But the thing is with the Hilda, Valentina, Harley, you don't see enough pieces to warrant it. They might just double down and pick up like a Khalid for the Tracy usual pickups, right? Because it's either just been like Khalid or Hilda as his best heroes. But he still ends up picking the Glue. Okay.
But we don't know.
Tracy's best heroes currently after he came in, was it week 7?
The Khalid.
The lead, and
Kali,
then
100% the Kali.
second would be the
Hilda.
Hilda. Okay.
And Marcel. So those are his 3.
Yeah.
But of all of which, it's just the Khalid left.
Yeah.
But they instead prioritize the glue, which is, in my opinion, and I think the super fans would agree, is more of a Lansu pick.
Yeah. And it's actually growth. It's a lot of growth to see this glue. If ever it does end up in the hands of Tracy and Rome. It's our Chop Master right there.
Chop Master and former MPLPH athlete and now head referee Miko. Or Chico.
Chico, I was gonna say. Chico, okay, let's go ahead and throw this in for some insights to Hans and Wolf on our on-ground panel.
Maraming salamat sa ating casters. They've talked about the draft, but one thing has been uncommon. The first time lumabas sa araw na ito, it's the Hilda that finally came into play. Hindi natin yung nakita nung unang serye, but what's gonna be the difference now?
Oh, the difference is, hindi siya nabalata. Actually, yung sinabi natin kanina na last round picks, para dito pa naging sobrang normal ng ating first 3 picks for both teams. The Hilda will be instrumental against the Suya and the Claude. I'm actually surprised that Twisted Minds let that through. Tapos flex pick pa to para sa Omega. Pwede nilang i-pivot into that XP lane. However, Twisted Minds will still choose to ban the Alice. I think eventually yung Gord, inaban na rin na makikita natin dito, ban coming out from Omega. So, kailangan maging crafty na Twisted Minds with their Sean pick.
You know what? You can build up on that even more. Valentina is already on the other side. Ano bang mga potential options para kay Sean or maybe even the others with the last 2?
It should be a Shredder, mga tipong Kimi o kaya tipong baka kay Selena, makita natin dito just because of the presence of the Hilda as well. Baka last pick yung Sean hero, get a Tracy hero muna dito para sa Twisted Minds.
On the other hand, you're looking at 2 bans already. Arlot being the final one para sa Smart Omega. They already have the jungler, maybe the roam, and also the mid laner per se. But what about the side lanes? What are some of the options here?
Moscow para dito sa Omega, and I feel like eventually ang Hylos pwede rin piliin dito ng Omega.
So that is a Moskov and a Hylos and all of the other picks na so far ay available pa para sa ating dalawang teams in the second phase. So casters, we're gonna toss it right back to you.
All right, thank you for the insights there, Hans and Wolf, our on-ground panelists here throughout today. Now, picks are already coming through. There's the Baksha. Now on the flip side, you have the Clint and the Sora finally.
Twisted Minds sniff out bait. They think and they as Omega allowing them to pick the Khalid, but they pick the Baksha, and there's a rare pick in that Selena for Sean. We just breezed through the draft.
Yeah, that went super fast. Well, super fans, you can super fast scan this QR code and predict the match correctly for a chance to win 1,000 MLB Diamonds. Don't forget to do that all playoffs long. Now here's the massive prediction by the super fans. It's in favor of the Brun guy, Smart Omega.
Yeah, they won a lot of people over throughout the regular season. You know, thinking about this draft with Sean picking up the Selena, he was one of the he showed this pick before Mingwin did, and Mingwin had that crazy game alongside the Marcel of Perks. They weren't able to win, but you could see what they were trying to build to. The funny thing about the draft here, the result, I want to see one thing. This is going to be a very messy game. If any of these two try to play it slow, that's the team that's going to lose. Whoever decides to swing right out of the gate, and I think it should be both of them, is going to win. So that means we're just going to get an absolute mess, which I love.
Well, if it's going to be messy, if it's going to be clean, we are jumping into the land of Dawn for game number 1 of this best of 5. For Smart Omega or Twisted Minds, their playoff journey is on the line as this is the last match for the play-ins here. And we'll see who ends up facing against Team Liquid tomorrow.
A very, very fast clear with the Selena and Hilda together. Maybe the King gets his purple buff. He'll already be starting his orange buff while Ryzen is still getting his or clearing at least the little, forgetting the name. The wolf.
The wolf.
Another word. Yeah, let's just call it the little wolf.
Little wolf man. Looking into this, we've got to go ahead and see exactly how the early rotation is going to be, because that's been so important, especially in the last match for this. But already some action in the mid lane.
Arrow on the Perks. He is tasked to actually just clear these traps out and maybe catch an arrow or two. So that's falling into place for Smart Omega. EXP lane, it's all about both of them actually just wanting to get out of there. I give a slight advantage to James.
Yeah.
Much more mobile, a little more honest for Lansu. And in the gold, that one's actually a coin flip. Both gold laners actually need time.
Yeah. Which is why you saw, or you see both teams decide to go for something a little bit more aggressive in the center with a very fast bridge. Good sources of damage also available for both.
Okay.
I can hear more, which means I can also see better.
Yes.
That's how it works.
I was gonna say, you know,
Science.
you ever hear that when you're like, I can't see when someone's blasting loud music and you're trying to park.
Oh, Tracy does catch one, and they dogpile on up Perks. Perks didn't even flicker anymore. Twisted Minds draws first blood.
Oh.
So you really appreciate this Baksha pick.
Whoop! That is the shifting skies used by James, but Twisted Minds jump on him too. Mingwin in the back line, taking down Tracy. And Ryzen tries to get through, but Sean pops him. And in comes Perxiva. Renmark's getting dirty. You like this.
Yeah, again, this is what I expected with these two. There's going to be a lot of trading, especially when that Baksha Roma showed up. And that's what you get with Selena. The moment that arrow hits or the moment you see Sean get to chip away at someone, Twisted Minds are encouraged to fight, while Omega, they're not just going to take that line down. They're always a team that, oh, someone's low. Let's fight.
Mingwin with a stolen Selena ult comes in.
Man.
Top Lansu, but he gets a split. And Mingwin can't finish the job. Lansu lives.
Wow, I can't believe Lansu survived that. That was so many guys from Smart Omega. Great for him to survive. Turtle's going to be up here. And when was the last time we saw a Roam Baksha throughout the season?
Earlier this season, was it JP the last one we saw?
It had to be very early on in the regular season.
Yeah, I do remember it showing up maybe less than 3 or 4
It's
times.
very rare because Baksha is such a high prio ban.
Yeah. Often banned, and then when it does slip through, it goes in the jungle. But this is, it works really well with having a Suyo also on your team. Set things up better for the Queller and even the Soul Sever, but fighting for this turtle. It's up for the taking. Oh, quickly taken by MP.
Shifting skies, Omega goes for the turn. A lot of damage coming through. The mount still finding it. Sean gets taken down. Perxiva falls. That's a trade 1-for-1. James
MP
needs to get on out of here. MP does not force the issue. Smart Omega back off as well.
Yeah, good thing that was a committed flicker by James. The Queller would have been able to connect, and MP the King would have been encouraged to continue that. Even if James committed that flicker, it would have been too late. Speaking of items, Denki decided to rush a Skypiercer. Very interesting. So he goes for the Fury Hammer, built himself the basic boots, and just goes for Skypiercer right away. So they know that with the tankiness of the members of Twisted, the fact that there's a Skypiercer most likely going to be coming through for the Suyo as the first item. There it is. They wanted to balance that and meet that. Because traditionally, you look at the lineup of Omega and don't even consider them a Piercer holder team. There have been some Clint builds that don't build that item. So it's a smart move by Netsky.
Yeah, I'm also wondering if this time around it'll be a bit better for the Clint, since we got to see it once last series, but you know, unfortunately didn't do too well. This time around against the Claude and with this type of team composition.
Oh, Netsky gets dunked on, just barely flickers out.
That was what I was going to say. You know, what I'm worried about with a Clint is you're going to have to burn the flicker a lot of times with this kind of heroes that are being thrown at you from Twisted.
Could be wrong, but Mingwin might be one of the first times or rare times we've seen someone use Purify today. It's been mostly flickers.
Yeah.
Even with high crowd control lineups, just the gaps that they need to make.
Maybe the second or third athlete today.
Yeah.
They Purify.
Yeah, because we barely even saw Purifies in the last one.
In the first long series, yes.
Yeah. Fury Hammer Piercer for both carries of Omega and Twisted. Yeah, it's really going to come down to how they play the team fight. It's cool that Omega's still being able to be aggressive and actually meet Twisted Minds in the damage department, despite being up against a Baksha, a Glue, and a Suyo and Selena that we know can shred very early on.
Barangay oddities. Despite losing out on the first turtle and having less kills, they're up on farm. Where'd that come from? They're circling around the turtle pit. They dogpile on a Tracy. Tracy pops the Puissance. Perxiva moves on the targets, changing it. It's the frontliners of the Barangay moving through. Perxiva enters the Y-Brush. What a dance.
Yeah, they actually just held the turtle there with James for a while. No one's going to commit to it just yet. Ashan throwing out arrows. Meanwhile, MP's going to grab his purple buff. So they're just all delaying this for it eventually to lead into this massive fight for this as Mingwin holds on to the Baksha ultimate. Half health once again goes for a soft reset, but it looks like they're willing to commit now.
And there it is, the retribution, and the blazing to win by Nosha. They're backing off. James flickers back once more. And just like that, they got a stack on the Parthiva. MP the King finds him.
That was a defensive blazing duet also by Nausea, and it ended up working out for them because Omega, who wanted to fight, the moment they realized that the damage from Nausea was actually something that they needed to respect, they just decided to back off. So far, Twisted Minds are playing these team fights really well, and you see the effect of having the surprise pick Baksha with it having to revitalize.
Yeah.
The fact that Perk Ziva is on this Hilda right now can't do much. His only thing to do is just stun whoever gets close between Nausea, MP, and Sean. Yeah, he can get vision, but he's pretty much a free target for Twisted Minds, while James is essentially the main tank for the team.
Yep, and that's what he's going to have to go ahead and just kind of do. I think we've seen that even last series. You pick up the Hilda, you've got to be that guy to just kind of jump into the team, and that can work against you, depending on how this goes. Now, Twisted hasn't built a massive lead or anything like that, but it's more so of just how they're dissecting the team fights that's working for them in their favor, and it continues to give stacks over to MP the King Suyo here. And that's going to be the problem, right? We've seen this before where you get hyper snowballed on a Suyo, multiple stacks, and then that is a threat in itself for Smart Omega to deal with throughout the course of this game.
Whoop.
Penguin, will he take an arrow? Okay, no, he sidesteps the arrow. Smart Omega is still here to back him up, so they're fine. They kind of just need to go ahead and continue to build up.
It's also a really sad time for Mingwin. Imagine being a Valentine and the only best ultimate you could steal is the Tortoise's Puissance of the Baksha.
He did pick up the Abyssal form changing.
Yeah.
Seemed to be good because he himself is a Selena specialist.
Yeah, gets a lot of dashes, so at least he can cosplay as a hero that he excelled with near the end of the season.
Oh, Tracy here up top. Perciva has to respond to that, so they'll hold on to the tier 1 turret up top as the next turtle coming up here shortly as both teams get in position for this. Arrows being thrown out once again by Sean, but Smart Omega will make quick routes here for the Lord.
All right, they let go of that turret up top. I don't know if that's their decision or they just it totally slipped their minds.
Yeah.
But Nausea farming up will lead to less space for Netsky to farm through.
I feel like this is kind of what we saw the last time with the Clint coming into play. You know, you just kind of, you wait for him to come online and you hope by this point with the first Lord that he's there. He's going to be rotating for this. But who do you catch? I think that's the biggest question for Smart Omega. They do find a deadly magic on Tracy, but Tracy's tanky enough. He doesn't even need to use a Revitalize off of that. So it's a little bit difficult for Smart Omega to decide who to go for and pick off. Look at the front line that they have with this kind of composition.
I'll tell you who it is, and Joseph, it's not that box, yeah. What a chin on Tracy. Where's the damage gonna come from? How are they gonna take him down? Just off of Netsky?
I think so. I think it's just got to be Netsky, man.
It's going to be a late game thing. Maybe Omega can get like 1 or 2 members of Twisted, but in the long run, Twisted win the battle of attrition.
Whoop. They go straight for the Lord. Forcing Omega to respond, putting it at half health. Soft reset. Now they bear down on it.
Oh.
Lansu very low. Look at the back line as James hits that shifting skies, but Epi the King secures it. Nausea takes him out. And they're not done. Perks Eva's going to be up next on the docket. Netsky takes down Lansu. 2 for 1, the trade. Yeah, Nausea finds Mingwin.
Oh!
Gets traded up for Netsky. Gets 2 stacks. And he wants more. It's Ryzen controlling this lane. Just the 2 of them left.
Yeah, the long run, pretty good recovery by Omega. Twisted Minds gets the win definitively. But the fact that Netsky was able to get a stack on a Sky Piercer, double kill, took down Nausea.
Oh!
Yeah, add more to that, Netsky, damn!
Well, we did ask the question, is it just going to be Netsky to be the hope here for Smart Omega, at least for now? And I think that's been answered, man. 3 kills, 3 stacks on the Sky Piercer.
So some lack of respect there by Twisted. I don't know what Tracy wanted to achieve with that jump onto Netsky. Feel like he wanted to go, but there was no one else close enough to back him up.
Nary a Dreadnought armor, nor a Jerkin built up. Like, he has 0 physical damage.
He's got magic
defense.
resist.
Yeah, that's all.
And a bunch of health.
Yep.
More for Netsky to run through.
Yeah.
At least when he gets the Guardian Helm, like, it'll help him a bit, but that was a huge moment there for Netsky to get built up on this Clint who, you know, so to speak, is going to be the guy to help them in game 1.
Smart Omega needs to be studied. They seem to be getting their economy from what seems to be, Magical Satchel.
Yeah.
Because they're down turrets, they're down on a Lord, they're down the turtles, but they are still, very close to Twisted's gold.
My fellow Filipinos and barangays know they're probably taking loans.
a lot of ayudas.
Yeah.
Ayudas.
From different barangays.
Yeah.
I swear I'm a resident.
Yeah, they're not going to ask for it back anyway, you know, so you might as well take a look.
I'll say yes.
Never know.
You never know. So at this point, let's go ahead and see if things change for the course of Twisted. Whoa, flicker used by Sean. Are they going to go for Trace? Tracy's tanking up again at this point, but a flicker down is something. Missile arrow thrown out at James. He's going to be fine too. So it's fighting for the space, and it's... Whoa, Sean! Whoa!
Ryzen from out of nowhere.
All right, so this is where it's going to start getting really bad for Twisted Minds. After the 3 kills they gave to Netsky, that's 30 plus stacks on the Piercer. And then the fact that Ryzen can just take out a squishy member of Twisted Minds like that. I mean, one of the reasons why Netsky got the kill earlier onto Nausea's Claude was because he was initially bursted down by Ryzen. There's a really good chance that if Twisted aren't careful, specifically Sean and Nausea, they could just get taken out of the map.
Yep.
And MP, Tracy, and Lansu will just be left with a lack of damage.
Yeah, this is a very daring position to be in here. Twisted holding on to this tier 1 in the mid as much as possible before the next objective is the focus when that Lord comes up.
Oh, man.
Oh, BOD picked up. You thought Netsky was doing some damage before. Well, now he's got the BOD.
Yeah, even Nausea would be worried about entering the fight as a Claude if he can't get a good angle onto Netsky. He somehow has to hope that he ends up behind the Clint. Because if he shows up, he's going to get reduced to 50% health with one full combo.
Yeah, one combo there.
How far off is he from Wind of Nature?
Quite far, because it looks like he's going Malefic Gun first.
Yeah. Okay, Nausea goes Malefic Gun. He's got that.
That might be unwise.
Yeah.
He needs a Wind of Nature now if all of the above is going to be true.
Oh, unless they take out Netsky here.
Tracy,
Oh,
winding up, says ni hao. Right to Mingwin as he pops a Purify and pops him just as quickly.
Hey, if you can't take out Netsky, you might as well take out Mingwin. And that's a good sign for Twisted to start up this Lord here. He did also pop the flicker, so now Netsky doesn't have that available to be on the defense.
Honestly, I think Omega should take the risk. Try to blast someone and then get out. Never mind.
That.
Another arrow right to the face. Pertiva goes. James here has to repair the situation. MP the King is about to get shut down. Ryzen finds him.
It worked out. Perfect for them. Yeah, Ryzen, that was just a perfect entry with the Deadly Magic.
Yeah, perfect target to go for. That completely stops this Lord take, so it's going to go for the reset. It does. Oh, no, it doesn't fully reset. Netsky.
Crazy goes hunting, finds Netsky. Nausea with a shutdown. Yeah, finds another. Gets a double, and James is the victim.
I guess you don't need the Wind of Nature when you can make moves like that.
Drive by Tracy. Does it again, and Sean, of course, with an Abyssal Arrow. Just a perfect combination stun. Since Netsky has to pack a Flicker in this game, and he cannot pack a Purify. There's so much dive. Once he gets caught, it's over for that Clint. Netsky needs to be a little bit more cautious of where he positions. And I think Omega are also quite cautious because MP the King has hella stacks on that Piercer.
Yeah, he does, man.
Well, it's cut in half now.
Yeah.
Cut in half, even so. Nasha's a big threat, as we just saw from that, so he's building into it. Even over across from them as they take down the tier 1. Oh, he goes Wind of down. He goes Wind of Nature. Just to utilize the Wind of Nature with the Blazing Duet.
Winter Crown.
Or Winter Crown, yeah, Winter Crown. So he's got that.
Which is about as good as you can get between the flicks of Netsky and the Deadly Magics.
Because he could probably, I mean, we'll probably see him switch it out if he wants to, once he uses it too, so.
Go for the juggle.
Yeah, Smart Omega. But hold on to this side of the jungle. They got the Lord to deal with here shortly up top. Part of this, again, is protecting Netsky to make sure he's alive. He is a big part of staying in this game and not letting it end in favor of Twisted as they take down the tier 2 mid lane.
All right, Lord here, threatening the push, smacks right into that turret. Shifting skies, James pushing Tracy back. Tracy with the Puissance. Might have taken too much damage, but the turret will fall before he does. Puissance on the way out.
Omega's comeback here really will just bank through them somehow being able to get picks onto the easiest or lowest health members of Twisted, the squishiest members. Ryzen getting chased here by Lansu. They're going to be able to check it. I think they have an idea. Nah, they don't!
Oh, Sean.
Sean here will not survive as he's caught by Ryzen like a smooth criminal.
I thought they had an idea because of how they were checking the bushes, but no!
Yeah, that's tough for Sean, man. He's like the target to go for. he's going to be out most of the time, and he might just have to go ahead and take those deadly magics for now. Twisted will try to hold on. He's more of a information guy on the Selena. Now they're going to lose a tier 2 turret off of that take. Really good from Ryzen as he also takes the purple buff away. So this
Leaves the baby too.
Yeah, he leaves it.
Oh no.
Oh no,
Lancer cleans up.
Okay.
Lancer, of course, Lancer cleans up.
Yeah, Lancer had to.
Twisted Minds now. This is why, like, looking at the draft lineups, it's so 50-50.
Yeah.
One side has an insane amount of damage that can just stop Twisted, while Twisted has a really tanky front, but also great damage. So it boils down to who'll be able to execute better at the right time. If anyone gets mispositioned. It's even tough for Omega to fight a slow front to back, something that a Clint wants. It's always just crazy that we ended up with the picks that we did. Even, look, the two mid laners don't have a clear gap. Sean eats a lot of damage there, but he'll be able to survive. That's how you know this game is really close. When both mid laners are pretty much getting their farm at the same time and it's all good. My goodness.
Yeah, I'm wondering if at some point does Sean just pick up a Winter Crown or something to at least prepare for that, you know, deadly magic combo.
Yeah, I think it would greatly benefit if Twisted Minds. All of them cannot, well, maybe except for MP the King.
Oh man, look
could
at
have at least one with the crown. Look at where Tracy is again.
Look at Ryzen. He's actually just
Tracy.
He's enough of a threat to keep Twisted from fully committing to this. Oh,
they find.
Oh!
Escape by Stasha first. Mingwin played the bait, and now MP the King is turning tail. Perxiva and James on his behind. They pop his immortality here. Oh man, look at the arms on James. Are they going to finish the job? He gets the surge out. Meanwhile, in another fight, Lancer and Mingwin go 1v1. Tracy and Netsky too. And Perxiva and Ryzen throws it out. The winner crown. Tracy takes down Netsky. Ryzen takes out the opposing retribution holder.
What?
Lansu. How did he get in there?
Leave it a Patrick Star to be in your base.
What even is this game?
I'm so happy right now. It's like I'm glad that my read was pretty accurate. These two are just like testing each other's limits and understanding of how to properly team fight. Because Omega knows that they can't fight an honest team fight. They have to get crafty with it. But instead of Twisted Minds, you know, falling in and playing around a box, they said, all right, we can do that too. Why not?
That was one of the most chaotic fights we've seen today. And it all leads to this Lord take. That's being controlled by Twisted. Ryzen's going to do it again. He's going to swing on over to the back line, waiting patiently. It goes for a bit of a reset.
Oh,
a Wind of Nature now for Netsky. Man, Netsky, speaking of, just blasted Nasha in the last one. That's what started it all.
a little too quiet. Ryzen.
Oh, Ryzen.
All right, Space escapes through. I think he sniffed it out.
Yeah. I think it was also trying to counter, keep track of the cooldown timers of MP the King. So instead of MP the King showing up and eating a face full of deadly magic, because Tracy was nearby, Ryzen knew that he couldn't risk it. Still, minion wave up top needs to be handled by Omega. Twisted Minds are trying to leverage that. Oh, they're going to stop Omega from being able to comfortably clear the mid lane minion wave too.
Yeah, they saw that Ryzen was there. He's going to actually be the one to clear it. Arrows being thrown out here too, but still, no one can't control this Lord pitch for now. James will pick up immortality.
The call here for Twisted Minds might be whoever Nasha hits or Sean hits with an Abyssal Arrow, they might just go for it. They're going to keep chipping away at this, but if they can get a big stun, that's who is going to go down first on the side of Omega. Meanwhile, for Omega, it's just play open the map, see if we can punish them with the shifting skies, and then hope for the best.
Really good with Ryzen cutting that wave.
Steal by Tracy. Bumps right into a minion. That was an initiation that could have been the game changer.
Yeah, Ryzen was there too. So Conceal use, he's got his immortality. Tracy. Ryzen's not going to be able to go that angle, but at least what he can do for now is just manage that wave up top. Manage the lane.
Again, it's a dirty job. Someone's got to do it. He's the only one who can afford to do it.
And he's quick enough around the map. Again, even expanding rivers. So do
Whoa,
they blitz
whoa,
this?
whoa, Twisted Minds going for the blitz. Sean forced to flicker back. Perxiva very low, pops the immortality. James and Mingwin dealing a lot of damage. Mingwin does steal away the Quella. And now the stage fired off. MP the King secures. In comes the rest of them. James with the defensive of that. Shifting skies, and MP the King finds Perxiva. Nasha comes in forward. BMI, blast, blazing duet. And now they find that stay. Oh, that's got to be all but over.
Twisted Minds can march in with the Lord without the Clint. A lot of the damage that could be used for wave clear is gone, but they're trying!
Menguin gets cut out. Nosha is just angry right now. He's just 7-2.
That was a Hail Mary,
Yeah.
but Ryzen pushed the mid lane minion away, forcing Lansu to go back. So it's just 3 members of Twisted Minds. It could be doable.
James and Ryzen got it.
Oh! Never
Down
mind.
goes Ryzen. Just big game. James left. Shifting skies into the turret. It's just him. Gets the immortality pop. Blazing the wet in the face. And Twisted Minds will be first to the board.
Messy but entertaining. They knew that they both had to get scrappy with those fights, and aggression is rewarded. Twisted Minds, what a swerve, putting that Baksha in Rome and showing up with a Selena last pick.
Yeah, the Selena last pick, the Baksha for Tracy, just a great draft and a great execution, man. All to allow the proper members of this lineup to work for Twisted, like we've been talking about, you know, ever since they started to gain some momentum, man. And you saw it unfold here. Nosha, especially on the Claude, you know, the hero we talk about that carries games so well right now, even the way that he built it, even that last Blazing Duet with the Winter Crown, just helping secure the win here. And, you know, it's great to see this kind of brawly, hectic, chaotic game. That's Tano #1. He's in shock.
He's seen better days.
He's in shock.
He's seen better drafts.
Yeah.
It was a little too much to expect that the Clint would be enough.
Yeah, it was. MVP of this one, of course, MP the King, making work throughout game one. And he was set up properly on the Suyo for this to happen the way that it did. He got early stacks. He was able to go ahead and be quite the threat in the early game, mid game. And then he had to rely on the rest of the team towards the end, especially. Think how calculated that last lore take was. You know, it took a while for them to actually commit to it, but they knew that they knew that Ryzen had to deal with the off lane. He was the only guy that could do it, like we mentioned. And as soon as they got a glimpse of it, they're like, you know what, let's just go for this, let's blitz it.
Yeah.
And they did still come down to the retribution, even though that was the case. And MP was able to secure it.
Yeah, MP the King made the most out of it. It was a little bit more demanding for Ryzen because he had to space escape in, walk, and then just hope that once he's within the Lord Pit range, he's just going to be able to press his retribution. Meanwhile, MP the King and Twisted Minds were the one holding it there. The Suyo Blade Surges were also mint early on, which is why Twisted Minds were able to get some of their early wins because of that extra stun and the damage, the combos coming out of the Suyo. It just meant that all of the aggression that Omega wanted to do was responded to, was countered well by Twisted Minds. Granted, Omega were also handling everything pretty damn well. Twisted Minds just took control of the map much quicker.
In a matter of tempo, it's just Twisted Mind had more hook.
Yeah.
They had more proactive things to do. Smart Omega, yes, were answering to things, but truth be told, look at their lineup. They only had 1.5 cores. Ryzen wasn't even a full core.
Yeah.
Sure, he got solid pickoffs, but really it was all on Netsky.
Yeah.
This was going to end and begin with Netsky.
That's kind of what we were talking about even before he got those 3 kills, he got those stacks going. We saw the damage that he could push out when he locked in the BOD. You know, there was just a lot of weight, I feel like, that would have been there for Netsky on his shoulders for them to go ahead and win this game. But, you know, there were signs that it could work. And I don't know, maybe it would have been different if it was maybe something different for Perxiva, but nonetheless, they were able to fight and hold on for as long as they could, but eventually just the nature of that composition ends up falling apart against what Twisted was able to do and execute. And again, I think Tracy was able to do so much with this Baksha, and half the time, like you guys mentioned, maybe more than half the time, Menguin was holding on to the Tortoise Poissons.
And that's what makes this a prime example of a difficult Valentina game.
Yeah.
I'm no Valentina specialist, but I know that with not many good ult choices, you're kind of left there being a utility mid laner.
So Menguin was able to deal a good amount of burst damage, but with the damage there, a lot of your value really comes from whatever ultimate you can steal, which is why I think Omega might walk away from the Hilda priority early in the draft. I think that also allowed Twisted Minds to end up with packing the glue at red 3 as a flex option and then showing up with a Baksha roam. Since they know that it's a Hilda they're dealing with, they also adjusted their draft accordingly around the Valentina as well, so that there wouldn't be a lot of ultimates. It just fell in perfectly for Twisted. but it goes to show why also Omega have been so great this season and why they've been able to get that 4-series win streak at one point. Their fights are insane, man. They really catch their opponents off ground, and they're just so good at it that even though Twisted Minds had control for most of this game, there were moments where it looked like they were about to lose it.
Yeah.
Not just in the micro side, even macro-wise, they were able to keep that gold lead manageable.
Yeah.
Because again, I think they just know how to play team fights, skirmishes, and even in the low moments, their macro is pretty sound. It's ridiculous.
That's why we've been echoing the sentiment of, this is like one of the best forms of Omega as a team that we've seen in a while. And what was that stat? They haven't been out of the play-ins since Season 9, is that right? Wait, they haven't been...
The last time that they got out of the play
got out of the play-in
was Season 9.
Yeah. I think there's a great chance. I mean, I know, Twisted took this one, but I think there's a great chance for, if they just tweak that draft, the concept there a little bit, then we're going to see that continued power from Smart Omega that we've seen here, especially towards the last week. So let's throw it over to Hans and Wolf for a breakdown further.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters. Kani-kanina lamang nakita natin Twisted Minds able to take game number 1. And in fact, we've had a little bit of an information. And I asked you kung sino ba yung personal MVP mo. And what was your answer?
Hindi ako agad nakasagot kasi parang ang hirap mag-isip pa. And actually, the more that I think about it, the more I realize that this was such a great game para sa Twisted Minds in a way na talaga nag-step up lahat. Na-mention din ng mga casters to na yung trabaho ng bawat membro ng side of Twisted Minds ay nagagampanan nila. Kaya naman, eventually sila ay nanalo. Lanzu was on this, sabi na natin, sandbag na role. Kung meron mang role na gano'n nag-exist as the explainer, being the sacrificial lamb. Whereas ito namang si MP Daking at si Nosha, kailangan nila trabaho nila ay mag-deal ng damage. In fact, dun sa pinakahuling team fight na we might be able to see, mapapansin natin yung talagang pagkaka-form nila ng Bucks. And siguro, dito natin makikita yung Bonchan School of Team Fighting. Makikita natin, sobrang solido ng Bucks na ginawa nito. At pagpasensyahan nyo na yung drawing ko, mga kaibigan. Medyo one hand tayo dito eh. Pero, papansinin natin, Twisted Minds, the 4-1 Bucks season, after ng gino ni Ryzen, napansin nyo na siya yung target. So, sobrang lumalim siya dun sa may bandang likuran. Kaya naman, nung nakita natin yung team fight, yung mga members ng Omega na si Perks at si James ay sobrang lalim na. And then Lanzo and Tracy, yun na lang kanilang gawin. Nosha with that flicker, alam niya rin na paggamit ang kanyang ultimate that eventually gave them the advantage. Makikita rin natin dito na etong Twisted Minds, nasanay sila sa ginagawa ni Ryzen eh. Eventually, nung tinatry na ni Ryzen mag-split push, hinanap na siya nitong si MP The King. Kaya naman eventually, si MP The King yung naging MVP sa laban na to dahil nahanap nila yung best sa dulo. Etong parang malaipis sa kondo na galawan ni Ryzen ay nakontra na ni MP The King.
You know, it starts to make a lot more sense. Kasi si Ryzen kanina, during game number 1, sobrang daming anggulo ng pinanggagalingan niya. Hindi mo alam, makaka-pick off na siya. Pero napapanatili pa rin ng Twisted Minds yung box nila. And it felt like they were able to keep control doon sa kanilang major objective, which is the Lord. Kung kaya naman pagkatapos sila makuha yon, they immediately turned to the heroes and bursted them down, thus finishing game number 1. And I feel like it is now time for us to have another mind here in the ground. Kasi hindi lang to basta utak, men. May napatunayan na rin to, man. Please make your way here. And I think it's time for us to introduce. Please go ahead and introduce yourself, pare.
Ako nga pala si EY, player ng Guangzhou, China.
And ang hindi niya nasabi ay magiging parte na rin siya ng MSC 2026. Palakpakan naman natin si CY, everybody. Again, congratulations, pare. This was, again, a huge task for you. Anong pakiramdam that you're going to Paris to represent Guangzhou?
Masaya, excited.
Mukha naman.
Mukha namang excited talaga siya. Yan, isa na siya sa mga nakalinya dito na eventually makita natin sa MSC. Ito, Hansa, meron tayong inside information. Alam mo ba na hindi nakarating agad dito si CY? Medyo na-late siya ng onte. Pero ang tindi ng dahilan.
Ang dahilan?
Meron daw bagong motor na napili agad. Ito, bossing natin. Totoo ba ang balita, boss?
Totoo.
So, again, nagka-motor ka kaagad, naipundar mo kaagad yung winnings mo after all of this. Nag-champion ka sa ibang bansa. You're seeing some of your former teammates na nandito din sa MPL. Ano masasabi mo dun sa journey na nagawa nyo all throughout? anong masasabi mo na ngayon halos marami na kayong mga na-achieve, yung mga former teammates mo dati na nasa MDL pa kayo?
Masaya. Kasi natutupad na namin yung mga pangarap namin.
And you know what?
Magkakaiwalay na kami.
And in fact, kita dito sa MSCU yung stats mo nung nandun ka sa China Masters and even yung international tournament. Right, Wolf?
Tama. So we can see some of the stat lines na makita natin. Talaga magiging proud ka if you are a Filipino at sinusuporta dito si Sai. Real quick, CY, bigyan mo naman kami ng konting snapshot sa naging experience mo doon. Nahirapan ka ba doon sa region na yon? What were the challenges at ano yung parang proudest moments mo nung nandun ka?
Hindi naman ako nahihirapan sa region na yun. Ayun. Proud lang ako kasi champion ako dun eh.
I mean, you really have to be proud when you are a champion at tila hindi nga siya nahirapan. In fact, CY, maraming salamat. We wish you the best of luck as you head over to MSC 2026. Pero sa ngayon, ay ibabalik muna natin sa ating mga casters para ipagpatuloy ang Twisted Minds against Smart Omega.
Thank you, Hans. Thank you, Wolf. And hello, CY. It's great to see you. We were casting their games over there in MCT East Asia, part of Guangzhou Gaming, and he's going to be heading over to MSC with the other 3 teams going to the wild card. Now, before that, SIP, purified water. It's filtered through volcanic rocks for a crisp, clean taste that quenches like no other. Quench that thirst, take that sip. We definitely need this today because it's been a long day, and we could potentially have 4 more games ahead of us. So I'm going to take a sip. I know we got some amazing Max 5D chairs on stage.
Yes, we do. You guys see what our players are sitting in? That's clever engineering keeping these teams locked in. Ladies and gentlemen, no distractions, just pure performance. Brought to you by DT Racing Philippines. We have your back.
There you go. That's how you get, that's how you let them know. Max 5D. Is that what we're sitting in? I always wondered. What are these? I've been wondering. Are these the same as regular season?
No,
or?
this is different.
Is this
the name's right there?
Can you read it?
It's a Swift X Pro.
So it's not the Max 5.
Not the Max 5.
The players, well, I mean, we do say when we read that spiel, it's the players sitting on the Max 5D.
That's why sometimes I wish we were sitting on the Max 5D.
So we can be as locked in.
But you know what? We've shared our thoughts on how Smart Omega can even out the series here before we jumped over to our on-ground panelists. They've shared their sentiments. Now for this, I think part of the big picture, like we talked about, is not putting too much of the weight, too much of the eggs in the basket. For Netsky, you gotta have a different approach. As Sean's feeling it. Nosha's feeling it, man.
Who is he look? I think he's looking at.
I don't know who
his family. He's making faces at. It's either his little brother or nephew. That's cute. Oh no, never mind. That's a grown man.
That's here's another grown man. Bonchan with a plan. Playoff history. 14th time participating in the playoffs, and that's his whole journey throughout here. Season 2? What was it? I don't recognize this.
That is SXC Imbalance.
Yeah, so the older team.
He was the playing coach for the team.
Yeah, and then eventually would transition over to more into the coaching back-end style.
A whole lot of blacklist, of course.
Yeah, we know that run. Season 7, Season 8, Season 10 champs. Missed out on the playoffs in Season 13. Excuse me, not Season 13. Season, not 11. 9, there we go. Ooh.
Yeah. And now,
there should be a little Season 11 runner-up there also.
Season 11 runner-up?
Yeah, because that was between them and Echo.
Oh, Echo, yeah.
The Season 12 runner-up was AB Brand.
That's true.
That was in the SMX.
SMX Convention Center.
Yeah.
Man, it's been a while since we were there, huh?
I'm good with this.
Yeah, I hope we San Juan.
Yeah, it's cool that it's like 2 years, like we get 2 seasons in a row we get arenas now.
I saw a couple posts online of super fans out there asking like, hey, I'm gonna go watch in San Juan Arena. Is there any places nearby that I can hang out or that I can spend some time before heading to the match? Yeah, there's plenty of places nearby, walking distance. We like to go to one of them.
You know what's nearby?
What's nearby?
Superfan City.
Superfan City, which opens on day 3, I believe.
Yeah. Day 3 to 5.
So on day 3 we can start throwing that out there. Superfan City.
Yeah, day 1 and 2. Superfan City is there, but right now it's more of just the Superfan merch booths.
I was gonna say the booths are there.
And meet and greet sign-up places.
Yes, but there's actually gonna be activities and a ton of fun things to do starting on day 3 onward.
Are you gonna be there?
I'm going to be there.
That's why he said tons of fun things to do.
Yes. But
Oh,
if
there's no
it's,
getting away from that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
if it's gleaming hot, Renmar,
But
I'm going to give you all my thunder.
that sounds terrifying. Ominous, almost.
Yes, it is a little ominous.
He never asked.
But he doesn't need to.
Oh, yeah, I'm
He
scared.
just knows.
I am blinking twice and I'm signaling I need help.
Hey, I'm ready to jump into draft 2 here.
I'm
Where are we
glad
going again?
you
Flying
said-
Clouds. I think that was a choice.
Yeah, it's Twisted Minds.
Flying Clouds. By the way, this AR effect is probably the biggest on the camera, I think.
Yeah.
You guys are just joining us today. You'll know what I mean. Look at this.
I forgot seeing what clouds.
Oh!
What do we? My cloud.
I looked behind me.
You thought it was an actual smoke?
Well, that is something.
Not the only thing flying around.
That's not the only thing flying around here.
Here we go. Twisted Minds opening salvo bands. Fanny, Phoveus, and Claude. While Smart Omega take out the Freya, the Marcel, and the Harley. They open up with the Zushin.
I like that the Harley's actually banned. This is good bans here for Game 2 draft. Twisted answers by taking the Dushin.
Oh, they got the Herod Netsky and they got the Suyo. With Harley gone, I think just you give MP the King a chance to play his favorite Leomord pick. Crazy. One of the best heroes. You get Leomord juice in up into a Suyo.
Yep.
Your roamer has to be really good, like a high loss or... Yeah, no, you have to get a revitalized healing style roamer to really hold the front and keep your team alive.
His Leomord is almost as good as his Bane.
Yeah. I think this is a Leomord and a gold lane pick. They can go Leomord. Ah, they themselves banned out the Claude. With Freya gone, you don't have to worry about that. Ooh, that might have been a really good ban there by Twisted. By the way, Claude is undefeated this season. Not this
That was right. Whoa.
This day. He's 5-0 today. Oh, they get the Arlod. Interesting.
That's a good Lansu pick right there.
Yeah.
That's like his pick, or I would say one of his best picks in the season so far, right? The
If
Arlo.
not the Phoveus,
The Arlo.
not the Uranus, it's the Arlo.
All right. You get crowd control city basically at this point with the Arlot plus the Jushin.
I hope Cap Mingwin gets a better hero. I'm not saying the Valentine is bad, it's just it didn't play very well in the game.
Well, he's gonna get the Eve. Is this? I think the Eve is definitely a solid choice here.
I think it's good.
Yep.
I'm with it. I like the Eve. Solid box control. Very honest as to where fights happen. I think that's just one of the problems Omega has to deal with.
Yeah.
And now they start attacking Crazy Zero Pool.
There's so much dive on the side of Twisted that Omega might not care about it. Taking away pickoffs, taking away the Khalid. Interesting. There's no clear burst pairing with it, but they're just creating space for the Harith. But the glue is still open. Are they trying to force Tracy into one of his more, not as, I'll just say it, one of his weaker picks? Ah, no, they want to pick it up for themselves. Okay.
Glue. A weaker brick for Tracy.
Hilda.
Hilda
Boxia.
The Marcel is good. Static.
Or Marcel. Marcel's banned out though, so.
Yeah, I think you still pick up. I think you still consider stealing the high loss because this glue could go XP and then a high loss for Ziva to round out the draft for the Etarith.
Oh, Guinevere.
Whoa, wait. Rome Gwyn?
Is this a Rome Gwyn?
Wow, Twisted Minds have really cooked a lot for the playoffs. That's wild.
And the Rizzler comes through.
So this confirms the Rome glue. And Big Game James gets the big hammer.
Okay. Trying to find the angle here. This Guinevere can be very here and there because there's a problem with it in the Rome. You miss your jump, and it's so punishing for your team, considering there's no other form of entry other than Lansu throwing himself in front of Twisted, but you're up against a glue. Still, it could work out really well. I'm not hating on the Guinevere pick. It's just my current, like, coin toss in the air pick. I don't know how it's actually going to perform.
So does this still answer the question, like one of the weaker points for Tracy just because we haven't seen too much of him on the Rome Guinevere?
Or just Rome Guinevere in general.
Yeah. It's like a double it multiplied the fact that we don't see him a lot of Rome Guinevere. We don't see a lot of Rome Guinevere.
Yeah.
And his best picks are the Khalid, Hilda, and Marcel.
What is this series? We see Baxia's not banned,
Yeah.
we see Guinevere's not banned, and then them showing up in Rome.
This is like, I feel like this is what we expected for this series, though, no? Like
These teams.
Like these two teams, every single time we saw them play throughout the regular season, this is the feel we got. And it just so happens to be the case here for this match, our second match of the day. Looking at the emblems even, you know, I'm wondering how this plays apart with a Guinevere Jushin combo. Sean's running the flicker on this one. We're not going to see the sprint for his Jushin. But I don't even know if they need it, really. They have a ton of crowd control they can mess around with.
Double boots here for this glue. Oh, still gonna go to the side of Omega for that litho. Of course, Brave Smite glue Rome. Take note of it. It helps you extend out little skirmishes and trades.
Until you get the mount.
Yeah, because without it, you're pretty much dead in the mid. It's an important trading tool. Gonna get that EXP. That.
Whoa!
Stun there.
Ryzen charge, surge.
There, yeah.
Forces Tracy back.
Yeah, held on to the flicker.
Difficult thing about Rome Gwyn early on, if you're forced to use your second skill to get away instead of initiating, there's really no initiator. But you should be okay once he hits level 4. He's also packing the concussive blast, so him and Sean can clear out minion waves despite Omega being able to push more of their minions in. They have a pretty okay wave clear. 20 seconds until the turtle spawns, but MP the King, he's thinking twice about where he's going to rotate. He'll get his lizard first.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's going to show up in the gold crab or he'll just give that up and go straight to the turtle.
What is the build path here for Tracy on this Rome Guinevere then in this case? Since we typically have seen her more so in the jungle.
He's either going to go for more cooldown reduction and brush an Oracle, or just play it close to hand and brush a Radiant Armor so that when Mingwin and Neski spike up, he can still survive their damage.
Whoa! Ryzen with surge. And the RWM comes up. Down goes Lansu. Crimson Beacon, what are they looking for? The choke down and the slam on the Park Ziva. 1-for-1 trade. Take a nap, Patrick.
Yeah,
And now the Zaman Force coming in.
good zone.
Oh, and that's enough for Omega to stay work. Instead, gonna go for the turtle. The Barangay secures.
Yeah.
Imagine
Sure there.
Imagine how crazy it would be if that little ball of magic ended up getting the last hit from Breaking Guinevere. Super magic, thank you. Bah! Good thing he didn't. Omega was able to secure it. And that's the difficult thing. Even if you take down the glue, there's a Terizla. If you take down Terizla, there's a glue. And Mingwin just found the perfect angle for that real-world manipulation. Well executed by the captain of Omega.
Yeah, I like how he's playing with the Purify too, just in case him and Netsuki both. So they've got that to deal with when it comes to the team fights. Fighting around that real manipulation is going to be key too, but also depending on where James, you saw how good of a use of that penalty zone was previously. So that is all great lockdown that they can play around, and it's going to be difficult to play against that and trying to catch Netsuki. And this is what we were talking about. You know, in the past game, in game 1, we were like, well, you don't want to be putting too much of that responsibility on Netsuki's shoulders. Well, this composition, this draft, allows to take some of that and then spread it across the team. And, you know, you have that with Ryzen on the Suryo. James to an extent.
Oh! Flicker final slash, no one home. James didn't even have to flicker for that. Now with the mirror, Nosha flickers out of the way. RWM, he's still in trouble. Crimson Beacon, where's the punish? Smack in. Patrick Star down. And there's the SOD. Is Nosha gonna press it? Close call, Ryzen. Offensive use of that surge will allow Netsuki to shave off some of these shields.
Meanwhile, the happiest member there is Netsuki, who got a lot of gold. Should be a considerable lead between him and the Moskov. Yeah, around a 500 gold lead for the Harith.
Yeah, it was kind of like, you guys do your thing. I'm going to hit this turret.
Thanks, fellas.
And get this gold.
He got his Ayuda.
Yeah. And, you know, part of the case is like we were talking about with Smart Omegas on the macro level. Even when they seemed to be down in game 1, they were able to keep things under control from slipping too out of hand. Now they built themselves, what, 1,000-ish, 1,000+ gold lead up to this point, leads them into this next turtle take here. And they will fight for control. Some big items being picked up. First items being locked in. Ryzen will get his Sky Piercer. Guardian Scythe now for Netsuki. We'll see. Lansu is, if he's going to take those picks, he's going to land those final slashes. He doesn't have a flicker this time.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to be Tracy to be the one to get things going.
Omega knows that Gwyn doesn't have a jump. I'm surprised that they're not initiating.
Oh, RWM, Requiem, the answer coming through. Tracy gets taken down. Mingwin scores. Perxiva gets the mount before he dies. And they take down Sean. Final slash to repair the situation. It's only Perxiva that they find. Massive gun down on MP the King as the Sever gets it. Ryzen gets a stack, and now they go for his orange.
Yeah, perfect timing there for Omega. At first, I thought they were hesitating. Turns out they were just waiting for the initiation as James's cover with the penalty zone flicker was on point. RWM getting dropped down on point as well. That was just Omega executing really well.
Yep, they're team fighting here. Smart Omega coming in clutch throughout these team fights already. This point in the game, Perxiva will now lock in his chastised pauldron. He's got that to help deal with Nasha. When Nasha actually joins fights, I mean, we haven't seen too many like SODs thrown out just yet. He's been focused on farming up, and I feel like at the same time, he's trying to close that gap between him and Netsky. He's still about 600 gold behind though, and he's really trying to get to that second item. He just finished before switching into that bottom side, that corrosive scythe. So this is one of the things that you need on the Moskov, that time to go ahead and build up.
Oh, looking at Nosha here.
Oh,
Okay.
Perxiva flushes him out of there.
Yeah, there's going to be Nesky able to push another tower. So Omega have done well to take control of the river. Twisted Minds haven't been able to win a big fight in the center of the map, providing a lot of space for the Harith of Netsky. Next fights here for Twisted Minds are going to boil down to Tracy being able to get that knock-up with the Violet Requiem in. But James, if he holds on to his penalty zone, that's going to be your main counter.
Whoa, final flash.
There it is.
In comes the rest of them. Perxiva does get the mount, pushes him out of the way, and Lansu bites it. Salmon Force by Netsky. RWM, there's the Crimson Beacon. Omega are happy with the outcome.
Yeah, even with that answer of a final slash, a penalty zone is going to work. Nasha will go and take down some of the health on that turret. He's not going to finish it through just because of that rotate from Netsky. So Twisted isn't able to convert anything just yet. That's the problem. They're sitting on 0 across the board in terms of objectives.
Well, Tracy rush first building the anti-Cuirass is not gonna help that much. He needs to think about the magic damage more. There's 3 on the side of Omega. That's what's melting you, not the Suyo damage.
Yeah.
If he just went for Dreadnought into Radiant, that would have been better. He lacks the cooldown reduction. Yeah, this is why the Roam Gwyn is such an awkward spot right now. Either you hit or you don't.
So far, it hasn't been a hit. Oracle is picked up here, though. Poor Lancer to work with. Oh, James, okay.
He tried.
Yeah, he tried. Turret's going to be worked on. Still, no turrets down for Twisted, and that's why they feel so trapped on this side of the map. That's the problem, is when you're not able to go ahead and set things up in the early game, utilizing this kind of composition, and you've seen it. They've thrown out some final slashes, trying to get things set up. You're trying to fight with the beacon, but just nothing's converting.
It's awkward, too, because even if we get to the point where Lansu and Tracy would get their combo together, if James is fine, penalty zone ends that. Omega will be able to turn the fight around. They'll take a lot of damage, yeah, but they'll be able to survive. And then, with the members of Twisted Minds unable to get away with a lot of their initiation tools being dashes, and their main escape tool are those same initiation tools, then it's going to be tough for them. And James, so far, in the 2 big penalty zones we've seen, it has been more reactive, which usually we say EXP laner has to be proactive with the set. But no, it's the counter penalty zone that's been working out very well for James and Omega.
That's how far ahead Omega is right now. Just to talk about the gold lead, approaching 7K, they popped the Holy Shield up top at 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That's 4 minutes of protection that Twisted Minds could have had.
Looks like we're going to be on the way to Omega winning this. Still, Nosha, going to be a while. Doesn't even have his 3rd component of the DHS yet. Meanwhile, Netsky already has 2 items. That is an online Harith at this point. It was a first helmet and a chastised pauldron for perks, which could be what's also giving MP the King some difficulty here in the fights.
Yeah, there's a world here where, you know, in some way you're looking now, it seems like it's going to be in the hands of Nasha. You know, we flipped the tables from game 1 to game 2, where instead of Netsky, now it's Nasha to come online further on this Moskov to help turn the tide of these team fights that have been breaking out. And unfortunately, it's just taken a long time to get to this point. This Lord is going to be up here.
You know what, Joseph? I think you're right. If ever it's a worse situation.
Yeah.
Because Omega game 1, they kind of had one half of a core as well. Here it's all Nausea.
Yeah.
MP Thinking can't carry alone.
Yeah, he can't. This is an easy Lord take now for Smart Omega. They have had complete control for the past 3-4 minutes up to this point. Nausea will leave these minions in to knock down this turret. But still, nonetheless, they've got to get prepped up for a base push from Omega, who has all the tools in the world to push themselves into the base, force themselves into the base if they want to.
It's also an easier lineup to execute. Twisted Minds is so conditional. It's like, if this lands, then this goes, then we go. Well, for Omega, it's like, cool, we'll just go.
Yeah.
Or we'll just go and you guys go, and we're going to make it look easier than you.
Damage go pew pew.
Yeah, core items already locked in for this Harith of Netsky too. Well, it's up to Omega not to drop the ball.
Oh,
RWM underneath tier 1. Requiem, but it's not going to be enough. Netsky takes down Lansu. Tracy trades out for James. They do get the tier 3 up top. Lord still standing, quite healthy. And Omega are happy with their quarry.
that just feels like they're just like, you know what? Don't even wait, James. You're tired of being reactive. Go be proactive.
One of those moments where it's like, I have the money to spend, but I shouldn't, but I think I will.
But I just swiped my card.
Yeah.
Like, next thing I know, James is flying across the map.
Trust.
He's like, got the trade. It works out. They got the tower. That would have been not worth it if they completely missed out on the tower.
Yeah.
But they got the tower, so it was all good.
It's like one of those things, though. Like, I don't know if you needed to do that. But, hey, you want to Leroy Jenkins into the base? Go for it, James.
Yeah, it's one of those moments you say, at least I got chicken.
Thumbs up, guys. Let's do this. All right, so they get the base turret. Twist is still in the game. 8,000 gold deficit is what they have to work against here. It's still the same picture, though. Even when the next Lord comes up, they're not in fighting form. They might have to just Hail Mary and flash.
Penalty zone on a Tracy. He dashes on out of there. Spatial migration. A minute until the Lord.
Man, you know what? Well, okay, cool. Huh.
Little SOD. Let me hit those minions.
He didn't die.
Wait, why?
The minions.
He's just.
I think he ran through a couple.
Yeah, I think it's just for the minions, man. You know, if you can't farm out of your base, you might as well just use that spear.
You know, if James can have that one moment of like, do I really need this?
Yeah.
Okay, we can afford that for Twisted Minds also, I guess.
Yeah, Nausea has not been able to really do anything, you know, sitting on 0-0-0. He's had all the time in the world to farm up, though.
Yeah. Because again, their lineup doesn't have like an actual front. They have two centers who, once they've used their abilities, want to back off.
And
so when
burst.
Nausea joins in, he's wondering where the hell is everyone?
And zero burst.
It's zero burst.
How are you gonna get stacks on
Oh!
Shin? Requiem coming through. In comes James and Netsuke. Down goes Nausea. Mingyu catches him. RWM spent well.
We just need a montage of James flying across the map for game 2.
That's what you want. That's what you want, right?
Oh man, if James is the MVP, you can make a strong case for Mingwit, but I really hope it's James. This Rizla has been big. A lot of the counter sets were from him. And man, we were just talking about it. I feel so bad for Nausea. It was his team going, hey, let's go ahead and set this up. This looks good. And he's the one who got taken down.
Oh, man.
That shouldn't happen. A Moskov should be the last thing a penalty zone hits.
He's like, yeah, I'm just going back to throwing my SODs down the lane, dude. You know, I mean, at this point, you're wondering, and this is why we're saying there's no burst. There's so many conditions. It's conditional.
Yeah.
That in order for a team fight to happen, it's like coding. There's so many things. If this, then that, or if then statements is exactly what Twisted Minds lineup is. Now, maybe the answer is it'll work best in their base. That might be the one because the Lord is pushing up top.
Joseph, not even.
Hey.
Especially inside their base, it's tougher because there's nowhere to hide. There's no surprises for the crowd control that comes out.
Biggest surprise is going to be James.
And they don't have any flickers. 3 are down.
Yeah. Good thing James doesn't have a flicker. They got to deal with this Lord, though.
You know what? I think James has done a lot even without a flicker.
Yo.
Down goes that mid lane inhibitor. In comes The Requiem, down goes Perxiva.
my God.
Sean taking out Zaman Force. Net gauge, flash it on throw, and there's the penalty zone. He's wailing away, gets taken down by the turret, and the base gets targeted, and Omega. Even the score, now 1-1.
The experiment, the idea just did not pan out. Twisted Minds will fall while Omega tie it up with just a very solid draft based off of ideas that we know to work out very well this season.
Go James, man.
Go James.
Let's see who MVP is going to be. Is it Brungai Tana number 1?
He witnessed James.
He witnessed James, yep. And this was the thing, like in the early game, you saw like this Guinevere in the Roam wasn't going to work out too well for this one. Like, even trying to fight around the first couple turtles just wasn't going to go in their favor. And then you get a big turnaround already with Ryzen. That's just not the team fight or the composition you want to bring to that.
From the Barangay with love.
And penalty zone. So good. And even Mingwin. Again, it's either Mingwin or James for me here. My personal bias is James, but Mingwin deserves it if he gets it. Oh, he does get it.
Mingwin gets it.
Yeah, I mean, it's those real-world manipulations. Every time he dropped one, it's like he was never worried about anything.
Yeah.
And Arlott and Gwyn, that's wild.
He was the one that ended. He hit the base, right?
Yeah, it was it. Netsky fell.
He died, yeah.
Yeah, and then Mingwin just had to like basic attack.
Mingwin was 100% KP here as well. Just the real-world manipulation were on point. You take a look at the highlights here throughout this game. You know, even from the get-go, he was setting things up. And he was pretty much unbothered. That was the other thing. Like, Mingwin didn't have to deal with too much pressure. I don't know how many times he used Purify.
Might have been once total.
Yeah.
He got what you call the mid lane experience.
He got the, which rarely happens.
It's like the very, very old school mid lane experience. Remember when mid laners were so busted back then?
Yeah.
When you use your ultimate, there's a high chance you're not gonna die because you burst someone down that the opposing team just backs off.
Yeah.
It was like that.
Well, he manipulated their world, man.
Really?
Yeah. There's James flying through. This was a great answer, like you mentioned, though, Renmar, too, to the final slash, you know, from the Arlott.
Yeah.
Having that Trizzle there with the penalty zone. That's where, you know, that's where Nasha got caught, unfortunately.
It's so bad for him, dude.
Yeah. His entire team has a way to get away.
So it's 2 drafts now where blue side, there was one questionable pick for the first phase. First it was Hilda for Omega earlier.
Yeah.
And then now it's the Arlott for Twisted Minds. It's crazy that with the glue to Rizla open, they really prioritize the Arlott for Lansu.
And it seems to be a accumulating effect wherein you make one weird choice in the first half, and that affects the way your draft goes the whole way.
Yeah.
Because big picture, again, no burst. It's a 10-pole lineup. You need Dosha to pop off. And if he falls, the rest of the lineup crumbles. Very conditional engagements.
Yeah.
I could say the same for Omega in game 1.
Yeah, actually, yeah, true also. A lot of the conditions was, did we burst anyone?
Yeah.
All right,
Let's get alive.
Let's get live. All right, we go.
That's why we see teams doing that now with the current way the current meta is they're either choosing to play for the gold laners or not, at least alleviate some of the pressure on the gold laner.
Yeah.
To focus on somewhere else. And that's where also it's so important for the junglers, because you're looking at that too, where it's like, in this case, Ryzen had a better time in the jungle on the Suyo in comparison to MP, who you didn't really feel the Leo Mord at all through this game. You know, but that was also just partly due to the fact that you don't have the roam potential to set things up as well and make it easier for MP, not even the Arlott to an extent. You're not landing the final slashes you want to, you're not being able to follow through with them. So essentially, it all falls apart early on, and then later on when you're supposed to be able to play into your gold lane, you can't do anything. That's why Nasha was like 0-0-0 for 3/4 of the game. He was looking for action across the map, man, at one point.
Jumped by James.
He gets jumped by James.
Yeah, the most that he got damaged onto was towers.
Towers, yeah.
It was just like, all right, I'm doing something, guys. This is why, for a lot of players now, when Terizla got changed up just a little bit, he ended up becoming a pick in the eyes of many players as, what are we going to do against it? He's just there, for good and bad. That's why we call him NPC. You really don't mess with him, but it's also very rare that he'll get that big impact, except for this time, James, he made sure that it was big impact penalty zone over and over again because it was the stopper. So there's a reward in also using it reactively instead of being proactive with it, which is against a very conditional lineup for Twisted. If your engagements get countered by one big thing interrupting it, then you're ruined because you have no out.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Again, in a way, still scrappy, you know, across the board for game 2, but just really in favor this time around for Smart Omega, for Twisted, for both of them. You know, because that's the way they like to play. This season, by the way, we continue a proud tradition of honoring excellence with the MPL Philippines Alamat Awards.
The votes are officially locked in. Make sure to tune in this Friday.
Yep. For the grand awarding ceremony, that's May 29th. To see who cements their legacy in the Alamat history books. We'll see you there.
We'll see you there. Alamat Awards.
That's a little cool different attack there. I like that.
I like that. I like that. Calling all super fans, stay updated on all things MPLPH and connect with the most passionate community in esports. Join the MPL Philippines official Facebook group, the Superfan channel, and the MLBB official Discord.
Me, right?
Yes.
All right. Get your All Access Pass exclusive content, the latest news and community discussions, lead the conversation, and have a chance to be featured as our Superfan of the Month.
Yep. Just be part of the MPLPH family. QR codes are on your screen. Scan that. We'll see you there.
It's like a mini game.
It's a little challenge.
It's like we're playing a mini game.
We're having too much fun. Things might seem like it's breezy.
Yeah.
There has to be a little challenge inserted.
There's got to be a challenge, you know?
Little game.
By the end of the day, we're 10 games deep. What kind of mini game are we going to be looking for?
Likely.
Yeah. At the rate this is going, we're probably going to 10 games today. But right now, we got Smart Power Pose. Bring your game face on for the Smart Power Pose. That's the MVP from the last game for Smart Omega. Mingwin.
Harness the power, harness the power.
There, he has 2 fingers. We gotta change the hand.
Harness the power, harness the power.
That power right there. That's pretty close. Oh, glasses off. He's even got his hype man behind him, the hype men.
They have very similar cheeks.
Oh,
wow.
There you go. Congratulations. That's a smart power pose right there. He even took the glasses off. That's about as close as it gets right now. Super fans, I gotta ask you guys a question right now. Did you guys know that men are 5 times more prone to dandruff? Don't let flakes ruin your focus.
Power Up Clear Man, its triple cooling power gives you 100% dandruff-free hair for the ultimate fresh feeling.
There you go. Look at this. Show us the bottle. Did the bottles get bigger for the playoffs?
No, they're about the same size.
Yeah, that's what we got. I lost mine. I lost the freebies we got in week 1.
I still have, oh, in week 1? I still have them.
I ran out.
You know what they need? We need customized MLBB bottles for Clear, though.
I think those are. I think they do have MLBB designs on them.
Do they?
Yeah.
I didn't see it, what hero it was.
Did I gaslight myself into believing
You
that?
might be thinking of something.
They don't, Renmar.
Yeah, they don't. I think it's just the regular Clear bottle.
Oh.
That's why I'm saying, if we want to bring it up a notch, we can put heroes on there. Or the men, the clear men legends, the clear legends. We could put the clear legends up there. Maybe that'll work. But right now, let's take a look at this: the 4th versus 5th seed in MPLPH playoffs. This is the history that we've gone through. We took a look at this earlier with the 3rd and 6th seed. How about the 4th and 5th seed? Remember?
Well, only one team won the MPLPH championship at 4th seed, and that's Season 2 champion Signal Ultra. While 3 out of the 9 times that the 5th seed got to win against the 4th seed in the MPLPH playoffs. So it looks good for Omega historically.
But for Twisted Minds, the furthest that they can hope for, if we're only looking at patterns in recent history, is TNC. They were 5th seed, and they got as far as 3rd place. That was last year in the Cuneta Astrodome.
Yeah, and that was, I guess, for a lot of people, a big surprise to see them perform the way they did in the playoffs.
They made history.
They did.
Yeah, this is the reason why they're here. And prior to them doing that, no one has done that.
And I think this Twisted Minds lineup is capable of making a pretty good run through the playoffs. I think either way, whoever ends up getting through this series, whether it's Smart Omega, whether it's Twisted Minds, you know, it's another test for them tomorrow. You know, so if this ends up in a 5-game series, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine then you have maybe you have momentum on your favor to go against Team Liquid.
But I think for both, I just would like to see sharper, more cohesive synergies than an idea of a combo or two and trying to bank on that. Because like, if you look at the 5 as just, we've discussed this a lot throughout the season as well, the evolution of looking more at the big picture of it all, where instead of just looking at, oh, we're going to pick this because it counters that, and it's good about this specific thing, if you forget to look about how it looks like as a unit and how it synergizes with the rest of the lineup, then here in Season 17, it's been punished even more. So I think I'm going to look a little bit more for Twisted Minds and hope that they don't overcook again in this next one. And we just see them stabilize their own picks. If there's like a surprising pick to go for, then it goes into the EXP maybe. But today it's been rewarded. Whatever's been consistently good, whatever synergizes as a whole perfectly, that's better to go for.
Yeah, here's our draft recap. This is where we have to see if things change or not. You know, if teams are cooking a little bit too much or not throughout a series like this. And now that we've equalized it up to this point, you know, Game 3 is going to be rather important to see who gets closer to that match point to move on forward. And I think, you know, if we're looking at across the board here, where things are going to change the most, so far, it's been Twisted Mind changing the roam game.
Yeah.
You know, out of all the teams and all the games we've seen today, that's the biggest change-up.
It worked out in Game 1, and I cannot say it's just Omega's fault. I think the Baksha was the right kind of hero to complement what Twisted Minds are good at.
Yeah.
The Guinevere, though, again, on top of everything that they did,
Yeah.
that's where the experiment kind of failed.
Yeah. Because the Baksha, yes, if you miss your shield unity, you're sort of dead in the water, but you have Revitalize. Guinevere has an escape, but then you don't have that for a long time. You also have the glue to cover your EXP. And then we see the combo, it's not just latched on that, the Baksha and Selena together, whoever gets hit by their shield unity, an arrow comes in, or vice versa, you're still good. Because of course, there's also stun coming in from your jungler with a high amount of burst. It's just, it was so cohesive. It synergized as well, that combo piece that they had. In Twisted Minds, you take out the combo, there's barely any synergy there.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, you know, spread out more so than just the direct counters like you mentioned too, Renmar, but just spread out kind of the game plan. Have a little more cohesiveness to it to make it work. And, you know, I can see, I'm looking at the wrong monitor over here. I'm seeing Barangay Tano #1 doing his moves back there. But here's the question for you guys. Which team will come closer to breaking through to the play-ins? Let us know what you think. At this point, I'm going to be, it's almost the same as Onyx and what we had earlier with Onyx and Aurora. Like, I don't know, man. Based off 2 games, it's kind of 50-50.
Okay, to be fair, Renmar and I kind of saw the Super Fam coming through.
Yeah.
We predicted that.
See, this is why I don't do predictions, because then I would be the decider in us. And I don't want to be.
So now you're just left there, but there is no need for a decider. We both saw Omega coming through, and it's clear in Game 1 they had issues. Here they fixed it. Game 3, it's just a matter of not messing it up.
Yeah. It feels like Twisted Minds are banking on their unique ideas, their very specific combos. But how do they fare when you just go towards stability, if you go towards really sharp synergy?
Yeah.
We haven't really seen that yet. Again, the wins Twisted Minds got at the end of the season were off of a wild card in that teams weren't really familiar with how Tracy played.
Yeah.
So he got away with a lot of aggression with the Khalid, the Hilda, and the Marcel. We haven't seen him play any of his 3 go-to heroes, which puts us into the understanding of, oh, that's their mindset.
Yeah.
They want to show that they're more than just those 3 heroes for Tracy, which now it hurt them in game number 2. And if they still bank on that in game number 3 and it doesn't work out, I'm not sure about how they're going to fare in game number 4.
Well, part of that is also taking a look at the mid lane right now. Sean actually being #1 in terms of total kills. Sean was very impressive, especially last season. I think he was one of the first ones to get a Savage back in season 16. If I remember right, that was the Kimmy. And then, of course, you know, he's one of the few players that brings out the Selena, like we saw Mingwin as well. Last game MVP. The rookie from MDL leading the charge for Smart Omega. You know, he is the shot caller. He is the captain for this squad here. And like we've echoed, this is one of the best versions of Smart Omega that we've seen in a while. And yeah, I think a big part of this is maybe in this case, man, if you're talking about Tracy specifically, get him a Khalid in Game 3. Get him one of those heroes that he, I feel like, made a statement on when he first was introduced in the league back in week 7 or so. We're going to Broken Wall, so this is an opportunity for them to handle the draft in a certain way where they give Tracy a better time in terms of hero pick and what he can do. And yeah, the Boxer was great because it worked really well. It complemented what they had initially, but the Guinevere then just was the opposite of that. It was completely contrasted towards that Boxer game, and we're seeing more and more how important these roamers are in the current meta. I mean, the last series alone, the trades that happened between Light and Brusco, for example, and even their own hero pool is something to be, taking a look at, because even the Cho could come into play here. I don't know. We saw the Cho twice last series, and it actually ended up working out really well, respectively, for both teams. But maybe for Tracy, you just try to draft in a way where you at least secure your best hero pick in Game 3.
To be fair to Tracy, in the previous game, Omega did ban out the Khalid in the second phase, and they even took away the Kaja. I think they were also banking on a surprise pick there for the roam in terms of either aggression or just a pick off. Sure, no one banked on the Guinevere, but yeah, I mean, at this point, it's a canned horse. No longer need to be that it just really didn't work out. There's nothing wrong with prioritizing a Khalid earlier.
Yeah.
Though I think we may have set a bit of a precedence where the Hilda is more of a difficult pick to work out now, unless someone finds like a really good sequence for it to show up. Maybe as a potential flex pick when you see that the Phobius from the other side. There have been some Phobiuses that struggle against the Hilda in lane. Still could be a piloting thing. But yeah, just get the Tracy pick at the first phase. If it's a comfort, if it works well, just go ahead. There's nothing wrong with first phase picking a Hylos and a Khalid. They're meta and they're stable for a reason. If there's one more surprise pick I would like to consider from Tracy, it's something like either an Atlas or a Badang. Atlas if Valentina's not there. Badang if there's just some dashes you want to force out of the opposing team.
I would not mind seeing the Atlas, man. I know our on-ground panelists mentioned it. Maybe we could see it, maybe we don't throughout the series. I'm sure it'll pop up throughout the playoffs, but left in the open here for the first pick right away. It's going to go to a Claude. This is what you were mentioning earlier as well. Some teams, they might even just go for the priority Claude pick.
This is such a week 1 move to first pick the Claude in blue.
Feels like last season move. Wait, was it last season, season 16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But more evident in season 17.
Yeah.
Like that's when even, number 1 seed, defending champion, final boss, Liquid. That's what they would do. So here, they answer Twisted Minds. They pick up the Suyo and the Harith. Omega still have the Leomord. But they have a Kalia first. What's the combo?
Oh, that's going to be Gord.
Oh,
is that the combo?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a combo. It works really well.
Too. Oh, man.
Yep.
Picking a high loss here is awkward. I think they can get away with the Cho, but maybe a little bit later in the draft. Cho would be okay, but then Lancer needs to pick up something really tanky and with great ground control. Either you go Glue or Alice if it's available for you. You also need something to just get on the board right away. Without a Valentina, Sora could be open and in consideration. Let's see. Ooh, Sean's prioritizing the Selena. Interesting.
That's crazy. It hasn't been picked up much at all throughout the season. Sean and maybe one other player will pick up the Selena.
Sanji picked it up.
Yeah. Sanji and is there one more?
Mingwin and Friends.
Mingwin and Friends. Oh yeah, Friends.
So 4 of them.
Yeah.
4 players to play the Selena. So Sean's gonna go with it. These next couple bands, they'll focus down since both teams are the XP laners up for grabs there. There has been quite a bit of focus on that. Of course, the jungle pick right now for Smart Omega 2 against the Suyo. Oh, there's the Baksha ban.
Good read. Would have been another combo.
Yeah. What else can they pair with it? Again, it's risky. They can go pick for pick. A lot of dive. Because it's a pick-off combo for Omega as well, and then their EXP laner is gonna be the front. So we're just looking at trades of heroes such as like Alice, Yura, Glue, unless one of them's crazy enough to also go for an offensive duel in the EXP lane.
Like a Lapu-Lapu.
Yeah, like a Lapu-Lapu.
Sora.
Sora, I think out of all the offensive options would be like the best. Because you can either or him. He's great set, he's also really tanky, and even when he attempts, even if he wants to be tanky, is also dealing a fair amount of damage you need to be respecting.
Has some level of cleanse
Yeah.
or a CC immunity, so you're not as vulnerable in case you get caught out.
Yeah. Hard for Twisted on the second phase. Maybe they go ahead and pick up their roam now, or do they wait for the last pick to potentially surprise us?
They could be fighting for EXP steals also.
Yeah, XP.
I think you can't go wrong with an Alice now, the box was gone.
Would it be too much magic damage though? I mean, I know Alice is primarily for the setup, but
Oh, that's true. They also
Just
need to think
too
of
much?
they also need to think of their physical profile. Oh, that's such a tough spot for them.
yeah, maybe a.
I know, but they can be okay with the Suyos already there.
Okay, so they hold on. They pick up a Hylos instead to see what these next two picks from Smart Omega are going to be.
Still kind of a combo here.
Yeah.
Law and Order into the arrow.
Oh, they take the Alice though, and then the Leo Mord.
They're stuck with their Uranus. They have to pick a Uranus here. Any other EXP laner might be underwhelming. Sora, if you're looking at the Leomord and Glue, but again, in terms of the big picture, could be awkward.
Not Rizzler though, right?
Terizla, kind of lacking for me. He's just a wall. You already have a wall. You need something that can hold front, but also has good damage.
What's better than one wall?
Uranus.
Uranus, yeah.
Uranus, yeah. Not two walls,
He's all the walls.
but also.
Yeah, and he has damage.
Yeah, and he can kind of do his own thing if he needs to, at least
Yeah.
through the the laning phase, cut the waves pretty confidently. So I like this. I like both sides. I'm gonna lean towards the Gord Kalea combo because it's so deadly. It's so deadly in the early game.
Whoa.
And it allows the Claude to do what you need to do for Netsky. Farm up.
Okay. Am I just old-fashioned, or is Netsky not on a Purify a dangerous thing? He was on a flicker.
He was on a flicker. I would say maybe it's one of those things where you're just playing for reaction time.
He'll just be better. Oh.
Yeah, just play better. Be more athletic. Because, I mean, even if he had the Purify, the main thing is that he's got to watch out for is
The arrow.
the arrows, I guess. It's just
Yeah.
one of those things where it's like, you already got BMI, you might as well just go ahead and use a flicker too.
Yes, only because now the main condition for Netsky is to see if Tracy uses stun.
Okay, I'm just scared because this is how his Clint died.
Yeah.
He just said, I'll be better. And then he got caught out once too many.
I mean, the thing about that was, for the Clint, yes, he has that dash, but you really don't think of him as mobility. Claude, once he has those AOT stacks and it's the late game, he can move also. Still, it is risky. But we've seen well-rewarded flickers usages instead of a Purify. Plus, later on, he's gonna pack a Winter Crown anyway.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too where you're just like, that's the nature of the play style of Netsky. And sometimes, you're kind of left there sitting in awe on how he's able to go ahead and do some of these things that he does. But nonetheless, I think Flicker still will play its part in this composition. Again, he should have a pretty easy time in terms of like dealing with the early game, setting things up around your Kalea Gord combination for now, and then maybe as well for Ryzen on this Leomord. It'll be different because the last Leomord game we saw from MP, he wasn't able to do really anything.
Yeah. Well, the main thing for this Twisted lineup is if Sean hits arrow after arrow, then that's as good as any crowd control.
Whoa! Here comes the Barangay. They dogpile onto Lansu, forcing to use that Purify.
Wow.
And Perkzeve a little too deep. Gets punished hard, draws first blood.
I don't think they were ready for that initiation. I mean, they threw that out there, but again, you don't even have the level 4 on Mingwin.
Yeah, James is also still in lane managing out the minion waves.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that was just straight up Omega misplaying that.
Yeah, messy initiation. I mean, yes, you get the stuns off, but if you're not loaded, at least with Mingwen's ult, you really can't do much there. And, you know, Revitalize is going to pretty much negate a ton of damage. And that's what Tracy was able to do with the silos.
If it was maybe James who was there and initiated, I think before Omega would want to do things like that. Look at their EXP laner first. The Alice carries a lot of weight with early team skirmishes. Now she's doing a fantastic job in the gold lane. Being able to clear minion waves faster, getting a hit or two on the turret as well with the shields.
Omega got punished so hard across the map. They are down on everything. Gold, EXP. This is rare, especially in the series.
Now that they're gonna hit their level 4s though, turtle number 2 should go Omega's way unless MP the King is left unchecked. Because even though Selena, as great as a pick she is, if the Abyssal Arrow doesn't land and you've seen her transform, you just go ahead and dive on them. A good stop there. Perxiva couldn't get close and Omega couldn't get that gold crab.
And these arrows.
As long as these keep on hitting, Omega's gonna have a tough time. It's all on Sean as the main bridge for early to mid. Or for Omega to once again not respect some certain conditions in team fights.
Yeah. Part of the information given from the traps, the arrows, Sean will greatly help them. You know, they haven't had to do too much, and they bought themselves a 1,000 gold lead up to this point. Turtle's gonna be up here in a bit. Ryzen will go ahead and grab his purple buff. We'll see if they're able to set something up beforehand, but most likely just fighting for around the objective. And this is one of the things at this point, because you have a Kalea, you want to play into that Tsunami Slam, you want to pick that target, but it might be one of those things where you just go, try to get an automatic -1 against them and have the numbers advantage. John will get his first item, Glowing Wand, locked in on the Selena.
Ouch.
Oh, Lansu, look at this. Jumping on through, scouting everybody out, pops Consecrate already.
Okay, James catches an arrow to the face, still says no, does not want to take it lying down.
Smart.
And, yep, they back off.
Yeah.
I think Twisted Minds will take this turtle once again. Unless James, thinking about it, throws out the Throne of Ruin into Ryzen's blade and his Ducati as they jump through, finding Tracy, hitting him with that Tsunami Slam. Glorious Pathway trying to save himself. And last, taken out first. Brrr, they're coming in. And there's the blading the way by Natsuke, taking out MP. 2 for 1 the trade, but Twisted Minds still get the big one.
Well, Omega needed to get bodies there. First, the approach of Twisted Minds at that fight was they are putting a lot of weight on the Throne of Ruin of James, that when they see the Alice, that's their main target first. Bring it down low, send it back, and if you know it's too risky for James to commit the Throne of Ruin, then you should be able to get the objectives that you're fighting for. Second, they're using the Uranus as their main tool for poke, and Vision, that Tracy and Sean, especially that Selena, it's easy for them to just hit their target with something. Tracy walks up to it, Sean tosses out the arrow to wherever Lansu is, because naturally that just means members of Omega will collapse on the Uranus, and then Sean can just stop with an Abyssal Arrow. So the layering, the timing of the team fights for Twisted Minds have just been a little better, but still Omega are definitely in this. It's still a very close game. You're still up against a Claude and the Gord together that can have big ultimates that completely turn team fights around, despite some great execution and timing from Twisted Minds early in a team fight.
Yeah, that's one way you play it, especially with you approaching, you know, when the Lord does come into play here. Of course, they still have another turtle to work through, but there is that synergy. Whoa, mid lane, Tracy pops a Glorious Pathway, should be fine. Perxiva quite low too. These arrows, man, they're a problem.
Whoa! And that Mingwen caught out. Could have sworn he was going to be fine. And now up top, Natsuke forced the BMI through. Now Tracy and Nosha going to hunting. BMI will not expire. Blazing the wet use defensively. Arrow coming through.
Whoa!
Oh my God, Ryzen runs over Nosha.
Here's James.
Smart Mega's not done. Flames and fade away. Throne of Ruin catches no one. And now the turtle spawns.
Oh, and it's heading up to the turtle. But still, Tracy is low. Could be awkward for Twisted Minds to try and contest this, as Ryzen is here already. No Phantom Seed, as we saw him just use it.
Here comes the big guy. MP the King looking for an entry. Ryzen calls in. Barbiel. Oh, it's off of cooldown. That's the Glorious Pathway. No, Omega scores the last one.
Yep, good take on the turtle there. Whoa, Tsunami Slam.
And they find Sean. Perxiva serves it up.
Great play on this Kalea by Perkziva. Though they haven't always been able to convert. They've converted majority of it. Perkziva has 3 assists.
All right. Damage control here. Twisted does lose some of that lead that they were building up. Great responses from Omega to deal with this. And again, playing around Tsunami Slam is going to be key for Omega to keep pace leading into the Lord take. But, you know, that's all part of the plan with this kind of composition with the Kalea as Mingwen continues to build up too here. They are tanky enough for Twisted to deal with a lot of these shots, and eventually, you know, you either try to get a Glorious Pathway out, trying to get the Revitalize down. Netsky is farming up like crazy, though. We've seen this with the Claude time and time again, and he's working nearly there to his golden staff. Big lead against Nasha.
They're down overall, but he's up on Nosha. Netsky's saving up money like he's buying RAM.
Hey man, Rams.
Oh, Tsunami Slam answered here by a Glorious Pathway. A little too late because Tracy goes down.
Again, that's what we're talking about, man. Tsunami Slam in this combo with the Mystic Gush is going to be key for Smart Omega. Surprisingly, even with these picks, Twisted still somehow holding on to some economy lead. They're going to try to get this tier 1 down.
Oh, Lansu here knocked up, still holding on to that.
Oh.
And there's a Blazing the Wet at the back line, finding Sean. Netsky is bloodthirsty, and they spot Nosha. Nosha does drop the Zaman Force, dashing through, taking down Netsky, serving up to Lansu.
MP!
And then comes MP from the sides, taking down Perks. Now Ryzen looking to repair the situation. Does find Nosha, just a few more swipes, and there's the charge. He finds him, but the rest of his teammates are nowhere to be found. Ryzen, you can't take this, not 3v1.
Twisted Minds, okay, find the clap back. Omega got a little bit too greedy. Nosha got taken out, but at the end of the day, MP the King, hell-bent, holds the Lord for now, but with James and Ryzen close by, Tracy providing the information, you have to slow things down a little bit.
Uh-oh.
He wants to stack.
James does gleam throughout, and then they leave the Lord. It resets hard.
Okay, yeah, surprisingly, they made a quick go for the Lord, but they realized they couldn't secure it safely. They'll try to push up on that top side, but now that everyone's back for this, they'll get in position as MP wants to go and grab his buffs first.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the items here.
Okay, big lead here for MP the King Suyo compared to the Leomord, but it's the lead of the Claude that's keeping them close. Mid laners also still very close in gold, and not one has like a clear advantage over the other, meaning this is anyone's game. Good way to tell. Look at the economy of the mid laners. Problem is, for Omega, they don't have a lot of map to work with.
Whoop. Deep into the pit. He calls it in. Ryzen secures the last minute knock-up. The Zaman Force. Lansu very low. There's a Tsunami Slam. James falls. Everything scores. Netsky looking to take down MP. And now Nosha gets popped by Ryzen. Dean runs him over. And now MP running for his life. Mingwen, Ryzen and Perk.
Oh!
Projectile thrown out. Fade away, but MP the King will survive.
MP the King had to run away from that. Didn't want to threaten Mingwen, just taking him down real quick. Ryzen cleaning up house perfectly in the mid.
Oh, Sean. Flickers on out of there. Netsky burning. He should be fine. And then the push by Cap in mid.
Wow, what a extended fight from a fight into a fight, basically. This Lord was secured. They went for it. The great secure, by the way, by Ryzen, and then they go for this team fight. Tsunami Slam to follow through to take Tracy out. Even though MP ends up getting a kill, Netsky with a great blazing duet. Ryzen there to help clean things up. And this is the thing about Ryzen, you know, sometimes when he gets in this flow state in these games, he has a performance like this on the Leomord, 7-1-2.
Yeah, very ultimate-based is the composition of Twisted Minds, skill-based. While, yes, Leomord wants to fight with the Phantom Steed, but the Phantom Steed turns him into a basic attack, continuous damage style hero with some really good bursts out of his abilities. Damage profile for Omega, just a better. And the little bit of crowd control advantage for Omega in AoE is a difference maker. This is why I was looking at Twisted Minds to get the Alice instead first.
Yeah, ended up being traded out instead.
Yeah, the Uranus was their last best pick, but they're lacking a lot of sure crowd control. Yes, under the Zaman Force there are slows, under the Glorious Pathway as well. You get a big long stun through the Selena, but Selena, Abyssal Arrows, one, who's your next target, and how are you gonna stop them? Not much.
Yeah. Look at this move.
Stun from
Whoop.
Nicky.
Persiva. Here's a Tsunami Slam, forcing a Purify on Lansu.
Okay, Purify down. That's one. They do still have to find another, and that's one way to go ahead and approach it. Nasha goes and picks up his next item. He's still holding on to his Purify. That's going to be fine. There's the winner crown for Netsky. This is what we were mentioning at the beginning of the game. And so far, I feel like the Flickers played off well for Netsky in the way that he's been pretty aggressive on this Claude.
Yeah, he's using it as a finishing tool with a lot of mobility through your main targets in the Harith, Suyo, and even the Selena. That extra bit of flicker and gap closing helps him clean up house.
Okay, now this bit of a calm before the storm breaks out. They look to go ahead and just take some resources from Twisted as the purple buff is secured. Lord is now coming up here at this point. Tracy picks up Chastise. Pauldrons, you had one also for Lansu as his last item pickup. Are they tanky and strong enough to deal with this? James will get his own as well. Locks in his core items on the Salas.
Yeah.
He is leading that front side.
Oh, wow. Omega are blitzing it. Sean is way too far off. Tsunami Slam on one. Calling in Barbiel as well. Gosh! Massive retribution secure in the back line. Lansu gets taken down. Empathy King running for his life. Netsky and Ryzen. They shut down MP. And James bullying Tracy out of the fight. 2 free kills plus the Lord go over to Smart Omega.
Very clean, the superior lineup. Twisted Minds were getting some early wins. MP the King was getting some early kills, but as the longer this game goes on, we're getting closer and closer to a 6-0 Claude Day 1 playoffs.
Lord crashes through. Tracy slowing it down. Ryzen calls his Ducati. Nasha calls it in early. The Zaman Force top lane inhibitor falls. And another blazing duet. Coming into the back line. Nasha is going to go down. And now the base up next. Nasha's already taken out. Smart Omega are at match point.
Better draft wins. Omega are getting closer to breaking their play-ins curse that's lasted longer than Twisted Minds. Match point, and they do so in convincing fashion.
Oh man, that was such a dominant game from Smart Omega, the Brung guy here, showcasing this Leomord that was just doing wonders. And I mean, as a team, this we called this deadly combo when it came through, the Gord Kalea combo. Persiva so aggressive on the Tsunami Slam. He knew that the idea was, even if he just got a battle spell down, even if he just got rid of one of the Purifies, that was a win for them, a small win. And even this, you know, setting things up, Ryzen on par, on key with the Retributions throughout this game. And as you mentioned, yes, MP got some good kills in the early game, but you can't do it alone on the Suyo. And it was unfortunate because Nasha just couldn't convert on the Harith, even though he had some great Zaman Force placements to fight against Smart Omega. They just fell apart in the team fight. And the MVP, of course, is going to be Ryzen here with the hair check.
Why isn't he a clear legend?
That's a good question.
Look at those locks.
Maybe they saw his old picture that we showed earlier before the matchup.
Yeah.
Shorter hair.
Shorter hair.
Short hair guy.
8-1-4 on the Leomord. And again, this guy, statistic-wise, is in last place for all the junglers.
Yeah.
But look what he does.
He's more of a carry than he is a jungler.
Yeah.
I've been telling y'all for 5 years now. Dean is it.
Is he Sneaky Dean or is he something else right now?
He's everything. He's all that. He's all that and a bowl of cereals.
And a bowl of cereal, man.
Yeah, if you squint really hard, he kind of looks like Leomord.
He kind of looks like Leomord.
Look at that profile on Leomord.
Yeah.
Look at the red,
Yeah,
right?
I'm squinting.
He's just like an inch short.
Yeah.
So,
Almost there. Is it just me, or did Twisted Minds ended up going for another conditional lineup? And the condition being, Sean keeps hitting Abyssal Arrows and disrupts the big picture of what Omega wanted to do.
But it was crazy because, again, as we saw here through this game, even if Sean is landing the arrows, getting the information, once that was done and they didn't have any follow-up, he's left to just run away, and Netsky was hunting him down like crazy, man. Netsky was everywhere, utilizing the flicker just to go ahead and secure those kills.
It's just so much better. Well, I wonder why they decided to give the Alice instead of just picking it up for themselves.
I guess that's what's frustrating is the way Twisted Minds drafted
Yeah.
allowed for Omega to not even rely on any Lason. No cheese, no nothing. It's just potency. It's just a clean combo in mid. And then again, mobility in the side lanes. It makes for just a great picture.
Like, were they just thinking that, oh, all right, I think for James here, there's still a lot of things that he could go for. Let's pick up the high low so we can react. But there's one very clear trade in the Alice and Uranus.
Yeah. Because really the Uranus wasn't able to do anything throughout this game.
Yeah, well, there was a one little bit of clip where he was just standing in front of Omega, done a lot of damage. That's pretty much it. What you expect from the Uranus being able to deliver early game, but still conditional.
Yeah.
Well, for Omega, James, the threat of James forced a lot from Twisted. Oh, James still has his Throne of Ruin. He can still gleam. Let's force it out of him first.
Yeah, the Gleam, the Tsunami Slam, like we mentioned, with the Mystic Gush. That's what we were talking about. There's so many different ways you can handle those team fights. So many different ways they can initiate or peel if they needed to. Which then, again, you have to talk about Netsky, man. Netsky, he dealt with pressure in his lane in the early game.
Yeah.
The Mans was ahead of the farm of Nacho, though. Yeah. For the majority, like, I think throughout the entire of the game, even though they were pressuring Netsky.
Really used the Blazing Duet really well. During that one highlight where he was like flanked.
And then he went back right up
Yeah, he
top.
got sandwiched.
And then he went back.
Yeah. He risked that potential of him getting blasted. He was able to flicker quick enough because he knows the Harith needs to dash first and then basic. It's not just a simple basic attack. To maximize it, you need to dash. He was fast enough to flicker out. And then Ryzen came in.
Yeah.
And then that started the turnaround in favor of Omega.
And he did all that cool under pressure. Look, across the board. Even taking his opponents into consideration, he has averaged the lowest BPM. Like
71.
He's pretty chill.
Yeah, man.
75, 71, 113 at peak.
At peak. That's just probably when he was Blazing Duetting.
Lansu was maybe the truly lowest, but you play a Uranus, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're playing a Uranus. Does that really count if your heart rate's low?
No.
The Uranus players?
Well, as someone who does play a lot of Uranus, you are expected to go low.
There it is. We all go low. Let's throw it over on low to the on-ground panel. Hans and Wolf.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters. With this, Smart Omega is now at match point. Isang panalo na lamang ang kinakailangan nila to advance to the next round of the playoffs. In fact, we were talking about this off-broadcast. Nagulat ako na gumamit si Ryzen ng Leomord, considering that there were a lot of critics before na parang hindi naman pang split type yung Leomord, and that's where he thrives. Pero gumana itong lineup na to ng Omega.
You know mo, Hans, isa ako sa mga critics na yan. Hindi ko gusto talaga kapag nahawakan nila yung Leomord. In fact, meron akong statline sa mga podcast na ginagawa namin nila Midnight. Sinabi-mention niya na low win rate talaga sila at hindi talaga bagay yung Leomord. In fact, nagsimula ang laban na to na hindi ganun maganda. But Smart Omega found a way. I think it's Perks yung kanyang decision na gumawa ng panggulat na pag-flicker sa may buwan with Kalea eventually. At nakita din natin yung kagandahan na ginagawa na kanilang mga teammates. Eventually, this boiled down to pindutan gaming for both teams na nakita naman natin na naging effective para sa Smart Omega because of how impactful Perks was. Makikita natin dito yung pag-control nila ng River. This is the heat map, ang mga pinagagalawa ni Perksiva noong pagdating ng mid-game na around 10 minutes up until the end of this particular game. At mapapansin ninyo, puro nasa gitna, puro hawak niya yung mga pushes dito sa may gitna, RPM at LPM that eventually allowed them na makakuha ng mga pick-offs. Noong time na nahanap nila yung pagpitas kay Sean, dun sa may gitna, dun actually nagsimula yung momentum para dito sa side ng Smart Omega.
Yeah, because most of the team fights ay nagsisimula dun sa mga major objective takes. Not even the turtles anymore kasi lagpas 10 minuto na itong mga laban na to. So this is just great management ng Smart Omega sa pagpili kung sino ba yung magandang target. Is it the objectives or is it something else na talagang na-execute nila ng paulit-ulit over those major objectives?
And madali ko rin sabihin dito na pwede kasing ma-flip yung switch. In fact, this game, kung sakali ang mas maganda yung execution was Twisted Minds, masasabi natin na sila yung pinupuri natin ngayon. Ganun ka tight itong laban na to, but the snowball was just in favor of the barangay.
Right, there were some kits na pwedeng gamitin yung Twisted Minds. There was even a Kalea mula kay Perks, a Selena mula dito kay Sean. So there were some ways to pick off some opponents, but it didn't happen for Twisted, and it happened so much para sa Smart Omega. Kaya ngayon ay lamang sila ng 2-1. Just one more to make it to the next round of the playoffs. But before we toss it over to game number 4, I assume we have some special guests together with our host.
Your right hands, meron nga tayong makasama here in the Champions Arena na isa na rin kampyon sa kanilang rehiyon. Please welcome Coach Justin of King of Gamers Club. Welcome sa Champions Arena, Coach Justin. Hello. Recently, nanalo nga kayo sa MSL Thailand, and after how many years and how many tournaments of coaching, you are finally a champion in your region, MSL Thailand. Ano bang pakiramdam na nanalo ka this time around along with the Filipino imports of your team?
Masaya po kasi syempre first championship. So sobrang grateful na nanalo kami ng championship.
At masaya rin kami para sa inyo, Coach Justin. Alam mo, nakaka-proud talaga. Nagka-thrive kayo kahit sa ibang bansa, di ba? Iba talaga ang talentong Pilipino. And you know what, Coach Justin? Gusto pa namin malaman more about you. Paano ka ba napunta sa King of Gamers Club?
Nakita ko lang na naghahanap sila ng coach. So nag-try out lang ako sa team nila. Tapos ako yung napili nila sa lahat ng nag-try out. Kaya ako napunta doon.
You stood out. Talaga namang with the experience that you have and the talent that you have, napunta ka doon. And gaano ba kalaking adjustment ang ginawa mo coming into MSL Thailand?
Siguro hindi sobrang laking adjustment kasi yung mga local na player ko, nag-i-English sila. So, hindi masyadong naging malaki yung adjustment sa communication kasi nag-i-English sila.
Language barrier was not a problem for you, and maganda talaga yung kinalabasan ng inyong chemistry. That's why you won that championship. And nandito ka rin na naman sa Champions Arena. Ano bang kansya mo sa level of competition that we have here?
Siyempre, Pinas pa rin malakas. Kahit na yung Thailand, siyempre medyo kailangan pa nilang mag-keep up sa macro. Pero tingin ko confident naman ako sa team namin kasi based sa mga scrim, nakakatalo din kami ng MPL. Pero siyempre, Pinas pa rin.
Alam mo, aabangan din namin yan, Coach Justin, dahil you have secured a wildcard spot para sa ating EWC. How do you feel about that?
Sobrang saya kasi yung dating Paris, Paris
na ngayon. Sana all yan ang tugon namin sa'yo. Maraming salamat, Coach Justin, for being with us here in the Champions Arena. And now, match point na nga naman ang Smart Omega. Pero hindi pa dyan natatapos ang laban ng Twisted Minds along with Lansu. Kaya naman, panoorin muna natin to.
Siguro si Lanzo, hindi din siya siguro talaga team captain inside the game, kahit outside the game. Kasi may mga times talaga na sobrang down ako, sobrang gulong-gulo na ako kasi puros talo kami, bad trip ako. Pero siya makikita mo palagi na lumalaban, nag-cheer up sa amin, binuboost yung mentality. Isa siguro sa isang factor na napaka-solid na team captain ni Lanzo kasi pag wala kang makausap, pag gulong-gulo ka na, pwede kang lumapit sa kanya, makikinig siya, bibigyan ka mga advice.
Ako po si Lance Aaron Misa. Ang GN ko po Lanzo. And ang team ko Twisted Minds.
Ano ba yung naging driving factor? Bakit ka pumalag ngayong season?
All in lang talaga. Yun lang talaga yung nasa mindset ko ngayon na manalo ng manalo. Hanggang sa makarating kami ng MSC. Yun talaga goal namin ngayon eh. Hindi talaga ako papadown niya yun. Basta gusto ko lang talaga manalo. Yun lang yung nasa utak ko. Ito kasi talaga laging manalo eh. Ayaw na natatalo. Sakit sa pakiramdam eh.
Parang inisip niya siya yung reason kung ba't natalo kami. Ayun, mostly i-blame niya yung sarili niya. Lagi ko lang chin up ko lang lagi kasi lagi siya nakagano'n pag natatalo eh. Kaya ayun, parang binibigyan ko lang siya ng motivation kung bakit, kung para sa atin naman to, para sa pangarap natin to. Kaya ayun, nagbabounce back ko. Pero pag naman, most of the time, pag alam niya naman as a team yung pagkatalo namin, siya talaga yung nag-motivate sa amin para mag-reset and mag-bounce back sa next game.
Nangyari kasi ang pinaka-goal niya talaga is, siyempre lahat naman mag-champion, di ba? Pero siya kasi isa siyang breadwinner, so parang ang dream niya talaga is manalo, so binibigay niya lahat. Which is nagiging shared dream na siya sa amin, parang gustong-gusto manalo nila. So gugustuhin na din talaga namin lahat kasi gusto niya talaga makatulong sa pamilya niya.
Dami kasing may pangarap sa posisyon ka eh. And ayaw ko naman palitan nila ako kasi gusto ko pa lumaban. Talaga all in lang. Talagang iniisip ko talaga pamilya ko. Gusto kong magandahin yung buhay nila. Yun lang talaga nasa mind. Okay na yun yung pangarap ko. Na hindi na magtrabaho si mama. Ganun. Yun. Talagang todo kayo talaga ako ngayon eh. Palag na to.
Some great insights there, of course, from Lansu, the team, Twisted, just about his aspirations to be, continue to fight on, hopefully win a championship, support his family. For those that don't know, breadwinner, over here in the Philippines means he's the one supporting his family. He's the one doing all this so that he can hopefully one day retire his mom so she doesn't have to work anymore and he can continue to support them. And that drive is what drives them as a team to keep moving forward, and they're motivated by him.
If they want Mama Lansu and Lansu to be happy, Twisted Minds, I only have one request of you.
What's that?
3 heroes as your options for Lansu. Very simple. The Phobius, the Alice, the Clue. Try to revolve your drafts around Lansu being an initiator, setter, and an annoying presence for Omega to deal with. And that's a good start. I'm not going to say that's going to ultimately lead to win, but that's a good start.
Okay, I like the start. I think there's been some conditions here across the board, like it was, for example, for Tracy on what he needed to do, for Netsky, Nasha in that gold lane, for teams not to just entirely put their responsibility on their shoulders. But there's a lot of things up to this point, but it's match point now.
Now that we're talking about Tracy and the Barangay, if you recall when Tracy started to play for Twisted Minds and we got a little bit of a sneak peek of how impactful he was, remember how he would say, oh, I know where they are. I know what they're going to do. Trust me. Makes you wonder. You think you can say the same thing about Omega? Because for the history of the franchise, even more now, you can ask analysts, critics, pundits all around the internet, when you think you figured out Omega, they do the complete opposite.
Yep, that's kind of how it feels, man.
Yeah. We've been saying about them this season. They're just frustratingly unpredictable. Sometimes I feel like
biggest strength.
Yeah, which I feel like sometimes even Omega doesn't know what they want to do. I feel like that's where their mindset is like, oh, yo, we can do this. You want to do this? Let's do this. And then they do it, and then it works out.
Yeah.
And that's why it looks like Omega's putting Twisted Minds in their place. That place being kind of lost in the first half of the season.
Kind of lost. You know what it reminds me of? I don't know if you guys have seen the recent movie out there, but Ryzen and his stats as a jungler and, like, for example, what Smart Omega has been doing through that season reminds me of Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage.
Johnny Cage, yep. I don't know if you've seen the recent movie.
Carl Urban, yes.
Mortal Kombat 2.
Mortal Kombat 2. But that's kind of how it feels,
How so?
Because, like, Johnny Cage doesn't know, like, because he's an actor, right? So he's only good in the movies. But like, he stumbles his way and he's like winning fights and stuff.
Apparently,
he's good.
Oh, right. No, yeah, there's a term for that, but I don't want people to think I'm bashing Omega. Let me just say what the term is. It's idiot savant. I'm not saying that's what Omega's like.
Yeah.
They are not idiot savant.
I take no offense.
Yeah.
I am the Ryzen guy.
Don't clip just those 2 seconds.
Yeah. Don't clip just me saying the idiot part, and then you guys are claiming I'm calling Omega idiots. No, that's not the case.
That's not the case. All right,
Erase the comments, guys. It's good. He's saying good things about Ryzen.
Good things.
I go to sleep at night wearing that Tano jacket.
Oh man, you know what?
It's the best.
Let's go ahead and throw it over to Hans and Wolf to tell us what they think about this draft.
Maraming salamat sa ating mga casters. In fact, we are looking at the first 3 picks of both of the teams. You're also hearing Coach Justin na nagmula sa King of Gamers Club, one of the representatives ng Thailand. Coach, you're already looking at the lineup right here. First 3 picks ng Smart Omega. Why did you think dinagdag nila yung Khalid to fortify their lineup?
I think maganda kasing partner yung Khalid sa Sushi. Meron na agad silang strong. Tapos,
yeah.
Ayun. So, I think, ayun, maganda yung Khalid in addition for Zushin kasi may strong mid na sila. So, yun yung tingin kong reason.
So that's it. Like strong mid trio. Wolf, do you think it's the same thing para naman sa Twisted Minds? Do you think they have a strong mid lane trio in the lineup?
Sa ngayon, hindi pa natin nakikita with just the Gord. They have to find a way to solve this kasi sabi nga ni Coach, malakas yung kanilang mid. I think baka mag-defensive na lang sila like Gatot Kacha, mga ganun.
Well, I mean, Gatot Kacha, do you share the same idea or are you thinking of different options here, Coach Justin?
I think pwede rin po yung Gatot sa composition ng Twist. But I think for, ayun, Universe sila tsaka Glue, which is good dun sa kanila.
So again, elaborate on that, Wolf. Bakit maganda or hindi maganda to, basing it on your
Actually,
assumption?
maganda siya kasi offense, violence ang pinili na Twisted Minds doon sa kanilang 2 picks.
Okay, so that is offense that we're talking about. Is Gatot Kacha still an option para sa other side? But I don't think it is anymore. Glue will be the wrap-up. Talk to us about this final pick and the full composition ng Twisted Minds ngayon. Yung full composition ng Twisted Minds, what do you think about it? All 5 are finally there.
Yung kung ano yung magiging last pick nila.
Yep.
I think maganda dito for Glue. Di sila pwede mag Three sila pwede or Alice para sa Glue.
Okay.
Ay, nakaban. Or yun, Sora.
Okay, so Sora, Wolf, just some final thoughts about it. Ano sa tingin mo yung benefit of having that Sora in the lineup?
Having the Sora means na meron kang pang turtle dito para sa side ng ng Omega.
Now, final thoughts about the lineup of both of the teams, Coach Justin. Kita mo na yung para sa Omega and Twist. What do they have to do exactly para makuha ito?
I think yung winning condition ng Omega is meron silang strong mid. Pero tingin ko balance din yung lineup ng sa Twisted Mind.
Okay.
So tingin ko kung sino manalo sa first turtle, yun yung magdidikta ng laban eh.
First turtle is off the note. I think it's time to toss it to our casters to find out who's going to be winning this matchup.
Thank you so much, Hans, Wolf, and Coach Justin. Again, for the insights here, leading on in, and congratulations for the championship over there in MSL Thailand, by the way.
Kapkun Grab for sharing your insights. Let's get into game number 4. Match point for the Barangay. We saw it from a mile away. That Sora was left open. No threat of a Valentina from the other side. Renmar, it's like we're back in mid-season where a Gord combo gets ruined by a Sora.
Yeah, they revisited the Guinevere again. I got my wish in last two getting the glue, but Sora, guys, why?
It was Twisted Minds who was the first victim too.
Oh, and speaking of, man, an early flicker already used, and Sora's not even in there.
Yeah, it's the Khalid and the Juicin together. That's what Coach Justin meant. He was talking a lot about strong mid.
Yeah.
Twisted Minds, they opted to go for balance. And Turtle 1 is going to be very important for them. If they don't get to diminish the farm and speed of Omega's scale, it's not going to be good. And so far, it's Omega dictating the tempo. With their Khalid, with their Juicin, and their Suyo, they've taken away Green Camp, and they forced out flickers from Tracy and Sean very early on.
Yeah, that's what I was surprised by. Tracy even burning his own flicker too. You know, if he's caught in this first exchange, and that's why Coach Justin mentioned the first turtle's so crucial. It's going to be a little devastating for Twisted to deal with.
You're right, Owami, or rather,
it's okay.
Nice too. This being dangerous grass is one good thing for the Guinevere, but the bad thing is, Perks even stole the Khalid. That's Tracy's signature hero. Plus, oh my God, look at this, the response. They forced back Omega, but they spent a good amount of resources doing that. What I was trying to say is...
Yes, Burrito.
What I'm trying to say is, Tracy's not proven on the Guinevere. It's just not as good. If anything, the one good thing I can say about Twisted Mind's lineup is the side lanes. You still have the 100%. Is it still 100%?
The what?
Claude.
The Claude?
Today, yes.
There you go. That's one thing that I'm going. At least.
Yeah.
At least they got that to bank on. And they can. Okay, the thing with Twisted Minds is, with a lot of the strength of the Omega lineup, Twisted Minds has a lot of forcers like this. They can force things out very easily.
Oh, but the response is lethal. Look at this, James. In lightning form, looks to take out Tracy! And he draws first blood. Now it's Lancer's turn, gets knocked up. Mingwin Crimson Beats just to be safe. And James gets on out of there, skedaddles.
Man, James gets a kill and gets his life secured. Can they secure the turtle? That's the question.
Oh,
Lancer.
Another slam on Patrick Star. Oh, that is Retribution range, and Ryzen with a clean take. That's clean Dean.
Yeah, and no retry press there for MP the King. I think he missed out on it. Crazy how we've seen that more today.
Yeah.
A lot of non-retry presses.
Whoa.
Whoa, perks. Okay. He was just in a little bit too deep. Had to use a Raging Sandstorm to get out.
He just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Safe.
Might as well. A whole lot of action happening. Netsky also converting a lot of that gold in his hands early on with all that action happening around the first turtle. Gets him about 500 gold ahead currently against Nasha. And as we've seen throughout the series anyway, it's really been in a case where, you know, Netsky, for example, he's been winning the lane. Like, regardless of what's happened across the map, he's been winning it.
1,000 up. Smart Omega can definitely use this as a ramp up, and then they can just continue to pressure Nosha. Defensive use of the Blazing Duet. Netsky does oblige with the Zaman Force of his own, and then Tracy maybe just a second too late. If Tracy was the first to pull the trigger, then Netsky and Perxiva would have gotten turned on.
Okay.
Trying to see if Twisted Minds are better off on the counter or on the go. I think they're better off on the counter, because Omega, with knowing that they have the more aggressive, strong lineup, they can afford to be aggressive. And I think Twisted Minds can just play off of that. Of course, we saw a glimpse of it earlier with the aggression of James. Lansu was someone who decided to dive on the back. Unfortunately, Twisted Minds couldn't make the most out of it with how quickly Tracy went down. But then there was still a threat potentially of MP the King and Lansu securing the turtle together. Didn't happen. But it's those situations where you could see a potential comeback for Twisted Minds from the reactive side, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We've seen it earlier today with James on that Terizla. He played reactive and it worked out really well. I think it's the hero kits are different. The Omega lineup just has so much power with them that a turnaround by Twisted Minds is so also dependent on Nosha getting farm and being able to Blazing Duet.
Which hasn't that been a problem throughout the series that we've been talking about?
Oh, a gush out of Sean. I'm pretty sure he was just trying to clean out that brush. And Tracy gets knocked up. There's the
James.
Blazing Duet out of nowhere. Nosha, he can't save Tracy. Down goes MP. And so does Lansu. And Ryzen secures the Skypiercer on the exit. Turtle number 2 goes over to the Barangay.
And that's turtle number 2. As echoing what Coach Justin in the panel said, look at what happened after turtle 1. It's ballooned further now after the second one.
And Omega are going to be able to break the tower down bottom, getting Netsky out of lane. We are on the way to Omega advancing forward. The comeback here for Twisted is too difficult. James on this Sora that got through. How many times did we say this season? When there's a Leomord with you, when there's a Gord with you, you don't want the Sora around.
Okay, a reason why I think Omega just went and dogpiled on the front line of Twisted Minds was because they knew that there was no gush.
Yeah.
Joseph, as a former top global Gord,
number 1,
how often does that happen?
As soon as they know that it's gone, what are you left to do? Just stun. That's all you can do. Mystic Projectile, slow them down. That's it.
Why would he gush out of nowhere?
I mean, to be fair, premature gushing affects 4 out of 10 men. So
4 out of 10 Gord mains.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 out of 10 Gord mains. I wasn't one of them.
Well, at number 1, of course you weren't. This puts Omega up 4,000 gold now in 6 minutes. That's a grand and change a minute that they're beating down on Twisted Minds. There's nothing the Minds to put on the map yet.
Heartbreaking for Twisted Minds that they are very slowly yet equally quickly seeing their season end right before their eyes. While it is vindication for the Barangay, how long has it been? Since Season 9. That was the last time we saw them get past the play-ins. Every playoffs attempt by Omega after that has ended in heartbreak, first round exits, and in the Filipino way of saying it, they would apologize to their fans. Sorry for letting you down.
Hands down, though, this is definitely one of Omega's better performances. Clean as it gets. A quick look into what their dugout looks like. Coach Wura has his feet up, has his hands up. It's like, yep, according to plan.
According to plan, as the draft was predicted here, Smart Omega, this is a massive lead at this point. You know, there wasn't too many times this in today's matches that we see a 5,000 up in the 7-minute mark. James jumping forward once again. It looks like they just want to continue to put pressure on Twisted. They do that perfectly fine. They'll get themselves the third turtle.
Tracy is incapable of getting one of the major advantages that a Guinevere has in Dangerous Grass right now. It's a surprise factor. He's the one getting surprised when Omega checks in on him in bushes.
Yeah, it's hard to do that when you're going up against a roamer and a mid that can easily clear the river, clear the bushes, and take away the surprise factor. This is why Coach Justin, as we mentioned earlier, again, he put a lot of focus into Turtle 1 because he also acknowledges, I would like to believe, that the Twisted Minds lineup after Turtle 1 will slowly and then very quickly start losing to the Omega lineup. It's so much easier. Again, the Sora, the fact that they still decided to go Guinevere against the Jushin and Khalid, perplexing.
Wow.
The one-man solution.
Yeah, and also Tier 2 down bottom, already falling.
Massive.
All right, here we go. Twisted Mind starting it up, but they get punished instead. Tracy picked off. Chip these skies by Big Game James. They're hunting down Lansu. And the choke down, Patrick Star forced to take a dirt nap. Double kill for Clean Dean.
And that's already Ryzen getting what he needs on this Suyo. Yeah, there's a push happening up top with Nasha, but man, Omega is pretty much just taking whatever they want across the map.
Penguin almost got there in time to stop the recall of Nasha. 6-0. I mean, look at Omega this season. They got put through the ringer of doubt. People as early as week 3 saying they're not going to make it to the playoffs. It doesn't look like it. Then the turnaround. The team that they beat to start their 4-series win streak said goodbye earlier today, but took 3rd seed Onyx PH to the limit. That was Aurora. Omega would then be able to secure a high-profile win against the only other team, or the only team, rather.
In Season 17.
Season 17 to put a stain on TLPH's lineup.
One of 2 Titans.
The Falcons. That's who Omega is. That's who is about to advance to the 2nd round of the playoffs. To everyone who's been saying fraud Omega, keep watching. You're about to see them move forward.
Yeah, this is their game all along for this game 4. This Lord is theirs too. Twisted can't do anything against this except get ready to buckle in inside the base. Now, one thing is, yes, they should be able to clear things out, maintain themselves into this game, but at a 7,500 gold lead, 10 minutes in, a massive deficit that they have to work against. And Holy Crystal, Starlium Scythe, and Feather Heaven, the Trinity locked in for Netsky. They can choose to force a fight if they want to, and most likely come out still alive against Twisted. But with the way that Smart Omega has been playing, they'll take most likely the discipline route. Just go through the check boxes here to potentially get themselves that win that is so far highly in their favor to end this series 3-1.
It's gonna take Omega making a mistake for them to lose. Look at that, Netsky almost single-handedly forcing Tracy to overextend. Takes the flicker out of the young roamer, the new recruit for Twisted Minds. Omega are just cleaning house, man. They are pushing barangay perimeters all the way until Twisted Minds base.
Yep, good wave management happening here too. You got Lansu waiting in on that brush. James will spot him out, pushing him back. They already got the shields to deal with. Waves are pushing in. Smart Omega looking to take down some base turrets with Lord pushing and charging into this bottom turret. Twisted doesn't want anything to do with this, man. They're hesitant themselves to go forward.
Yeah, because they can't. Tracy's not a traditional roamer. James displaces Lansu. They squish Patrick Star in the second half. And in comes Tracy. Blazing Duet coming in. Tracy gets taken down by Ryzen. 2 men down, 3 defenders left. Mid lane next. Gush coming through for Sean. Pulls it back.
Nothing you can do there. The Mystic Gush is gone. Are they looking to end?
Perxiva coming through. MP the King calls in Barbiel, mingling with the Crimson Beacon. Omega, most of them at half health. It looks like they will force the issue. Neski drops his Diamond Force. No minions. Twisted Minds clear it out.
They live to keep fighting, but how long can they keep living? Omega have yet to lose a member, even with Twisted Minds initiations, their potential counters. They still don't have the firepower. Omega are just bursting through every member of Twisted Minds way too quickly, delaying the inevitable. A very faint glimmer of hope. Again, still very conditional, while Omega can just press buttons and get away with it.
Man.
If Omega drop a member, if Omega start getting dropped, start counting, because Twisted might just make a comeback, but that's gonna be a big what if.
Fikri kept his brain on. He's still there. No, hope is not gone.
Oh, conceal. Gonna be used.
Whoop, they're hunting down Nosha. Forcing him to be in my back. No one dying from Twisted in the next sequence is good, but they have to be ready for another defense. There's no way they're touching this Lord.
They're gonna get in range, man. I think they're willing to take a Hail Mary here. They use the conceal to get in range, but this is not where you want to be. They just went to go check things out. Smart Omega will start this Lord up, and they give the signal to just get ready for a defense. You know, at some point, you got to think, clearing these waves out, clearing this Lord push in, you're capable of doing it. You essentially need another 5 to 6 minutes at this point if you're Twisted to turn things around, because even if you catch someone over here, the rest of the team is just so stacked up from Smart Omega.
If Ranmar was midnight, he better be ready to say that's it. Because this Lord coming in about 10 seconds from now might actually be it.
Yeah.
It's just a second Lord. We're at 13.5 minutes, but it feels like it's evolved.
Because look at that lead, man. Again, tonight we've been through, this is our 9th game this evening, and we haven't seen a lead just like this. And it happens to be Smart Omega. This Malefic Gun, I don't know if it's going to be enough for Nasha, but him and Sean can clear things out. They got to deal with this Lord. There's the conceal play. They're pushing this one in further.
In comes Tracy, but he gets bursted down quickly. Nasha looking for the Hail Mary play. Down goes Sean, and Rising gets picked off, but MP the King falls as well. And now Lansu holding on for dear life. The Hail Mary bound. It's not going to be enough. And in comes the Barangay as they make their way out of the play-in, felling Twisted Minds.
Improvement is a consequence of practice. But what do you call a consequence of years, of seasons of heartbreaks and disappointments? I call that vindication. I call that redemption for the Barangay.
The Barangay surprised everyone qualifying for the playoffs when they did. And I think they surprised us even further on just how clean but chaotic this execution, it turns out tonight, as they move on forward. And I don't know, man, after this performance, I'm really excited to see them play against Team Liquid tomorrow.
I am too.
You know what the internet's saying, man.
What are they saying?
If anyone can beat Liquid besides Falcons,
it's Smart Omega.
It's Smart Omega.
The only team that beat Liquid this season already lost to Omega. The math is mathing.
Hey, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Oh.
It's gonna be a while till Omega meets Falcons again, so.
That's true.
The friend of my enemy
is also my enemy.
Potential X. Oh, that I lost it somewhere. It's okay.
Too real. Too real.